I am being stolen.
"10 years in the joint made you a fucking pussy."
God, I cannot do fine audio control on YouTube to save my life. Hi, everybody. Also, hi, Joopy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a good night, or day, or whatever. I think it's probably night for you, right? I think you're like 5 or 6
Fly
hours
like
ahead.
a beautiful butterfly. Fly like a beautiful butterfly.
I think I had my headphones turned up. That was really loud. Hi, everybody. I hope you're feeling better than I am. So hold on, I gotta add some props before I switch over real quick. Blah. Blah, blah. I'm sick. If you didn't know already, you probably know already because I've been whining about it a lot. But I'm sick. It sucks. It fucking sucks, dude. I don't think it's anything too like bad though. It's just annoying. It's just fucking annoying. But yeah, this could be worse. I don't think it's COVID or anything. So nothing too crazy to worry about there. Let's see. There. That's a little better. It's been so long since I've used this. Wow. I'm breaking out the sick blanket from the last time that I streamed while I was sick. Oh god. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna switch over so you're not just looking at the starting soon screen. But I'm trying to put this in my mouth. Trying to wait. Oh. Trying to rotate this. Okay. Whoa. Hold on. Oh god. Wait, I didn't want to. Oh. Wait. Oh. Okay, we're almost there. We've almost got it. Oh. And wait. Oh. Okay. I don't know why. I'm committing super hard to this bit. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not a bit. It's me being sick, but I'm committing super hard to putting this thermometer in my mouth. Hey DH, how's it going? That's the rectal thermometer. I know. Sorry, that was kind of foul. I mean, it's your fault, but That was kind of evil. All right, that'll kind of work. Yeah. Blah. Ah. Okay, wait. I can rotate. Wait, can I rotate it like, wait, like, ah, ah. I like that. It's fun. And then of course, hold on. It's gonna freeze for a second. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Ah. Probably put that on body. And then that needs to be like small. And then not that small. How's everybody doing tonight? Here, let me like tell me how you guys are doing.
FBI, open up!
Scary. Thank you for the FBI DH. Yeah, tell me how you guys are doing while I'm fucking around. Boop. Wait. Boop. 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 Almost. Actually, that's almost. Alright. Yeah, that'll do. Huge cup. Yeah, this is my actual bottle I keep on my desk. The one that blocks my tracking every time I drink from it. Continue to be very fluffy. Doing good? Hell yeah. Fluffy and good. Both positive. But yes, hello. Sorry for the sorry for the very long intro, everybody. We're just having a chill stream today. We're doing some art. I have a few things that I want to get to, and then a few things I might just do for fun. A few little fuck around projects that I might do. The big thing that I want to do, it was so important that I wrote it down. I want to do new sub badges. I had an idea for improving these, and I immediately have to hide this prop that I put so much work into positioning, so I figure, hey, instead of, like, I always figure the ones that I have read like ass. So I was like, what if this is our sub badge now? What if I have the file for this. What if I just did this outline in like some different colors, and then I had the center be transparent, and then it'd just be like boob. Thank you, Ash. But yeah, I thought maybe that would be fun as a sub badge. So I figure I'd just test that out today. I'd make that in a few different colors. Maybe do the white, and then bronze, silver, gold, maybe. And then maybe like some special colors for like the 1 year mark or close to it or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing today. Just gonna put this here. What is this? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the clip, Ash. I'll be sure to post that up later. Also, oh yeah, put that in the Discord. Thank you for pinning the clip, Ash. Oh my fucking god. Okay, well, all right, that's going on my permanent record. Also, I'm trying. I got a bunch of fucking Gamer Subs samples in the mail, and I'm trying one that like it smells good, but I'm so scared. I'm so scared of it because it's fucking. It's called Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, and it's very green. I think it might be like green apple, but it's very green, guys. It's a little scary. Yeah, like the name, I mean, you gotta hand it to Gamer Subs for letting people like name their flavors just whatever. Like the one that I had last stream was called Titty Milk, and it was pretty good. Titty Milk was pretty bomb. But it means that I get to hear people be like it means that I got to have a great conversation with Val about it. We were talking about it, and she was like super excited to try it, and I was like, oh hey, yeah, Titty Milk is pretty good. And she messages me like later in the day, with just a DM that says, it just says, I know what titty milk tastes like. Because we were trying to figure out what the flavor was. And I was like, yeah, it tastes like some kind of like Sour Patch Kids, like a strawberry or something. But but completely out of context, Val being like, I know what titty milk tastes like. When I tell you, I had a ha. I I had to fucking, bro, I had to fucking buffer for a second after that. I had to take a second to process because I was like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? What are you up to? Oh, gamer subs. Mm. Is it really blue raspberry? But they already have a blue ras flavor. How is it different from like the actual? How is it like actually? Why have you guys added? Wait, did you guys add that quote? Like, okay, it's only twice. Yeah, hold on. Here, it's okay. You guys could just remove 48. It's all right. They added milk, sugars, and farts. What? Wait, but functionally, how does that make it taste different? Oh, farts. Oh, wait, or fats. Fats. Fats! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the guacamole gamer fart still. My brain is fucked up. Shut up. Mm. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But yeah, I'm just, God, I'm not feeling as bad as I did yesterday. Yesterday my fucking my sinuses were super fucked up and it was annoying the shit out of me. Uh but today they've calmed down a little bit. I showered, I slept extra, I took some ibuprofen. Oh my god. Thank you for the reverb fart. DH. But but yeah, the like headache, the sinus headache has kind of calmed down today. Uh so I'm just kind of I'm a little sniffly, I'm a little sneezy, just a little like, minor symptoms. But hopefully it's blue raspberry with milk. That's the flavor. I mean, I guess that's good then, because I've been continually disappointed because I've wanted G-Subs to send me it's because it's J-Swat's favorite flavor and he wanted to be funny. Of course. Um but I've wanted to try their blue ras flavor for a long time because I figured I would like blue ras. Everybody says it's safe and I typically like blue raspberry stuff. But I could never get a fucking sample. I've gotten like 12 Gamer Subs samples over the course of like the last, I don't know, year or something. And like I don't want to buy a big fucking tub of something unless I know I like the flavor. You feel me? That's the first sample they sent me. Pug, I need you to send me a blue ras sample. Yeah, so I've been wanting a blue ras sample, and every single time I get either the same ones or I get ones that I've up until, let me think. I'm trying to think which ones I've tried, cuz I think I'm like I think I'm like 3 for 6 or something. Like I liked Mango Meta. I liked the like mango daiquiri one. But most of the other ones I tried dragon fruit, didn't like it. I tried the melon, didn't like it. I was like, damn, I'm just like getting a lot of misses here. Oh, I like the strawberry daiquiri. The strawberry daiquiri is pretty good. Uh, but yeah, I've just been like, if everyone that I had tried had been like bomb, I would be less scared of trying a flavor I hadn't tried. Uh, but it's been very hit or miss. So I'm just like, let me try the ones I want to try. Gotta get to bed. Have a good stream. Thank you, Ash. Thank you for coming by. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Black cherry was weird. It's a weird flavor. I was interested in trying the blue raz and the acai blueberry. I wanna try both those. I don't want to, but Ash, that's me every time I gotta get up early. I'm like, I don't wanna fucking go to sleep. But but I typically end up having to for certain scheduled things. But good luck at work. I believe in you. Your next stream is Friday, right? So I'll see if I can. I think I'm also gonna be streaming, but hopefully I can catch you for a little bit. Every day this week except for Friday. Ah, man, I'm just like I'm going through my water really fucking fast. But yeah. Have a good night. Have a good night, and thank you for coming. And I hope you have an okay day at work. I sort of lost my train of thought. But yeah, so today I'm mostly gonna be focusing on the sub badges, but honestly, that should only take like that shouldn't take long. That shouldn't take more than like 30 minutes. I might draw some emotes, and then I might do some fan art. I don't know. Oh, maybe. I have an idea for some fan art that I want to do. So we'll see. If I can't sleep, I'll be back to harass you. Oh, I hope you can get to sleep, and otherwise we'll see you a little later. Yeah, we'll mostly just be taking it slow, keeping it nice and chill and comfy tonight. Cause man, I just I just need to take it slow right now. I just need to take it slow and avoid hurting myself. So yeah. Wet. All right, so I'm gonna join the Discord and get in my little corner, and maybe I can pull up like a video or something we can watch. Here, 1 second. Let's see. Boop. There we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm back from Millennia Hell.
Oh shit, how'd that go?
I'm not fucking done with her.
Oh, well, good luck.
I'm taking a fucking break. But no, I've otherwise had a fairly chill day. I had a really good nap yesterday, and that's like I think that carried over. A good nap, good sleep, chill day, and just fucking like watching weird shit mostly, and I've had that on in the back a lot. Yeah, not much else to say other than that, and other than, hey chat, if anyone knows how to dodge waterfowl dance, tell me.
Waterfowl dance?
You'll learn.
I mean, I know that you don't know how to dodge waterfowl, because if you did, you wouldn't have ended up with like 19 stacked on your head.
Okay, so you know that one attack that Jetstream Sam does where he like... Actually, wait, have you played Devil May Cry? I haven't, but it's the best way to describe this, and I know what it is.
Completely ignored my stupid joke, but no, I haven't played
No,
it.
I get the joke. Okay, do you know what a Judgment Cut is?
No.
Okay, it's like the thing that, like, it's fairly common in anime too, where the guy, like, unsheathes it and there's just slashes all over.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so imagine that, but she does it 4 times in a row and it's in every direction. I hate it.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Dodge, 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 last hit, dodge forward? Are you doing?
That
are you
vaguely
doing, like...
makes sense to me. That actually kind of makes sense to me.
My man's dropping Street Fighter combos in my chat.
Oh my god, I'll show... I've actually never played Street Fighter.
I have a little bit.
But bold to assume that I'm good enough to parry in this game.
Wait, here. I'm just gonna do this, and then make myself a little bigger. There we go. That's better.
Yeah, so I've just been, like, having a relatively, like, kind of relaxed, comfy day. It's been nice. It's actually, like, getting kind of nice out lately. So that's fun. Yeah. Still fluffy. Still very fluffy.
I guess I'll just put it like this. Put it like this, and then we'll see if I need to move it at all.
Like...
Oh yeah, and Kit, let me, for you...
Yeah.
let me do this. should be the right one. I have to sneeze, but I can't. This is horrible. Alright. Here you go, chat.
Fuddruckers. Now that is just a fun word to say.
Here's
It's the
your
name of a
knowledge.
once popular
Wait, hold on.
hamburger chain that hasn't been doing too well. They have had so many ups and downs over the years that I'm going to touch on, but right away, to
start
prove
getting
that they've been struggling
Hey,
at their
Linty.
biggest. They had well over
How's it going?
200 locations. Texas has always been their biggest market, but they were spread out into most states across the country. Today, they have been reduced to less than 100 locations, spread across
time
only
to
23
draw
states.
and learn
Obviously,
about
a
fast
sizable
food.
reduction to about half of their
Hell
previous
yeah.
size, meaning there is a good chance that the Fuddruckers near you has closed down over the past few
Okay,
years.
had a small heart
Further
attack.
evidence of their struggle would be in 20.
Had a small heart attack because I forgot that I hadn't started up my. I forgot that I hadn't started up my server for sharing my iPad screen, and I literally unlocked my iPad, and it was on a map like centered on my location. And I was like, no, not again. But I hadn't started the server yet. Yeah, I fucking scared the shit out of myself there. Watching crotch goblins? That sounds like something not safe for Twitch.
2010, they
Yeah, although it
filed
does
for
remind me
bankruptcy,
of
and then
a
about 10 years
sadly
later, in
fake,
2020, it was looking like they might shut down
like,
entirely before they were able to
like
find a buyer that
incredibly,
had interest in
unbelievably
saving the
fake
brand.
news
This
headline
has been an
that I
eventful
saw in a
story.
tweet that was
Fuddruckers
just,
has had 8
let me
different
find
owners
exactly
over their
who it was.
40-plus year history.
Criticized
so
for
I
his
think the best way
corporate
to
ties
highlight their
and
ups and
being a,
downs would be
quote,
to go through all 8
crack-smoking
of them
goblin
and talk about
fucker.
some of the big things that were happening around those times. Starting off in 1980
Watching
with the founder
children?
himself,
Oh.
Phil Romano. He graduated from
Remember those
Florida
ice pack things you
Atlantic
put on your head
University,
when you're
FAU, in the
sick? Why does Kit
1960s
need
and
an
quickly
ice
got
pack?
involved in the operation and even ownership of
Yeah,
various
I'm not. I've only been
restaurants.
sick on
In the
stream like
1970s,
once.
He moved to Texas to further pursue those same
Right, let's
passions,
see,
and by
stream
1980,
chat.
he had a promising
And
idea
it was
for a new
actually the time that I
restaurant
S-ranked
concept.
Senator
It was
Armstrong
based
on
the idea
Revengeance.
that people would be willing to pay for a
Holy
burger
shit,
Because I
that was
remember-
the
so
same
long
quality
to
than you
load.
would
How
see at
high
a typical
res is
fast
this?
food
Oh, it's
place,
just like
but
It was
not
like,
quite going overboard into the casual
well, I got
dining
nothing
territory.
fucking better to
Remember,
do
this was
tonight. I'm
before
gonna like
Chipotle and
grab
Panera
some
and the
water
explosion of
and
the whole
take it
fast
easy
casual middle
and
ground, so these
S-rank
were
Senator
original
Armstrong,
ideas.
and
In
then
his
I
own words,
did.
I thought the world needed
Wow.
a better hamburger. And
Once
if you know
again,
anything about
proving
Fuddruckers, to this
that
day,
the
you'll
are
know
being
they take a lot of
really
pride in their
fluffy.
hamburgers. In fact,
Well,
believe it or
as
not,
said,
they serve
you are
the
sick
world's
now.
greatest hamburgers.
Damn it.
It's not my own personal review. It's a claim that the company has been making non-stop since the 1980s. I mean, it's all over their website, their signs, their logo, and yes, that's obviously a bold claim. It always
Okay.
reminds me of when Buddy the Elf sees the world's best cup of coffee, but I
See,
will say that they do appear
Fuddruckers,
to put
I don't know
a
about
lot
best
of care
hamburger,
into their
but they had the best
hamburgers.
buns,
So Phil
'cause they
Romano
had
went out, bought an
really
old
nice
bank in
soft
San
burger
Antonio,
buns.
Texas,
They're
and
just
converted
very,
it into
very
a
good.
restaurant that was selling the world's greatest hamburgers, or at the very least, a higher quality hamburger when compared to most fast food restaurants. The original
God, I'm
name,
trying
I
to
love this, he
sneeze
called
so
it
hard.
Freddy Fuddruckers, obviously dropping the Freddy part early on, but could you imagine someone
Just
having
get
the
over your
legal name
sickness, fuck
Freddy
you.
Fuddrucker? That would be incredible. And to be clear, it was never someone's actual name. It was rumored to be
Should have
inspired
been
by a fictional
fluffier.
airline called a Fudd Pucker. But I think more than anything else, it's just a goofy
think
name to try
fluff
to catch people's
gets
attention.
people
About
sick
a year and a
more
half
than it
later,
prevents
Romano opened the
sickness.
second Fuddruckers in Houston,
Yeah,
Texas.
well, I've
and
only
about a
been
year and a
sick
half
on
after
stream
that, they had
once,
their
and
first
I'm
change
fluffy,
in
so-
ownership.
Oh my
In
God.
1983, they had a public stock offering that raised the money that they needed to start opening so many more restaurants. I do want to point out that
did I
Phil
put
Romano
this
did remain the
fucking-
majority
I have
owner, but this
been
was like the
having
start
a
of him removing
comfy
himself
day,
further
and
and
that
further
means
away
you'll
from
get
the
to hear me
company.
talk
In
about being
1985,
fluffy.
he stepped down from his CEO
Where did I
position,
put
and by
my
the end of that
fucking
decade, he left the board of directors and sold most of his ownership in favor of moving on to start new restaurant concepts. The most notable one of
Oh,
those
is it
would
just
probably be
here?
Romano's Macaroni Grill that you may know from the dozens of
Oh,
U.S.
okay.
locations. But back to Fuddruckers, they were now becoming a well-known brand because they had the resources to open new restaurants in
Hold
new
on, I have to
cities,
look
but
at
maybe
something.
even more importantly, they were utilizing a franchising system. That's basically where others pay them for the rights to operate locations using their brand and their food. All things that helped Fuddruckers grow to over 100 locations within the next 4 years, which
I guess
may
it
have been
is.
a
Okay.
little fast. I would
Yeah,
consider that to be
Lindsay,
their
same
first
here.
stumble.
I
They
have
were
never been
overextended
inside
and
of one. I
started
don't
to
think I've
lose
ever
money,
even
but they
seen
laid
one.
off some of their staff and sold
I
some
might have,
company-owned
but
locations
at the
to
very least, it's not
franchisees,
something I
and
remember.
losing things up enough to
Give
reverse
Kid
the
a hot
trend.
oral
Their next change in
thermometer.
ownership happened in 1988 when they merged
That
with
one
a
is
company
already
called DACA
in print, yeah.
International. Now, that company would specialize in food
Also
service
in
contracts.
Discord?
Specifically, they were one of the country's
Yes, it is.
largest operators of
Wait,
cafeterias.
that's literally
that
the
have them in
same
places
model
like
that I'm
universities and
using.
hospitals.
Look, it's
the two
literally
of them
the
seemed
same
like a
one.
good fit because combining would make them more efficient as far as food purchasing and select operations. One of the big attractions of Fuddruckers has always been their toppings bar. Similar to a cafeteria style, they give you a
Hold on.
plain burger and then you take it
Yeah,
over to
Fuddruckers
that
was
area
good.
and put all the
They
toppings
also
you
had good
want on it.
milkshakes,
It's a
which
fun
is
way to do
pretty,
it. That
like,
gives the customer
rare
more power of
nowadays.
exactly what they're eating, and it saves money because there's never been a need to employ servers. DACA was in charge of Fuddruckers for almost a decade, and during that time, the brand became considerably more well-known, almost doubling in size, approaching 200 locations. In fact, in the mid-1990s, there were a dozen Home Depots that contained a smaller version of Fuddruckers called Fuddruckers Express inside of them. They didn't last long because the whole idea turned out to be a disaster. Really, everything for Fuddruckers started going wrong around that time. Some of it was a similar issue. They were opening locations too fast, causing them to make poor decisions in real estate, but also they believed that there was consumer
this whole
confusion
thing.
over the Fuddruckers' core concept of the world's greatest hamburger.
Copy.
Let me explain that a little further. I would say that the best argument that can be given for these actually being the world's greatest hamburgers is the fact that they are so fresh. I mean, objectively, I don't think you can make a hamburger much fresher than this. Going all the way back to the first hamburgers at that first location, they have been known for having a section labeled butcher shop and a section labeled bakery, not to mention the toppings
Okay,
bar.
here we go.
I think Phil Romano realized
now
that if
do
you're
I
going to make
have
such a bold claim, you're going to have to back it up with some evidence. So with all of
Yes,
this
okay.
going on, people could see that the meat was cut and ground daily at the restaurants, and that the buns
There we
were baked from
go.
scratch daily at the restaurants, and that all the vegetables were visibly fresh. But by the middle of the 1990s, they stopped emphasizing all of this stuff, partially by changing the layout of the restaurants so that all of a sudden, the world's greatest burger was starting to seem more like an
Fuddrucker
empty
sounds like a
flame.
swear that a
And on top
Minnesota
of that,
mother would
the
say.
investors
I
feared
think that
DACA
they
was having
mention,
their
like, they
attention
say
pulled
something
in
to
too
that
many
effect
different
in this
directions,
video.
given the fact that they also own the cafeteria business and two other restaurant chains called Champs and Great Bagel and Coffee. The next change in ownership is a very brief technical change. In 1997, DACA International basically split apart. They sold their cafeteria business and spun off their restaurants into a newly formed company called Unique Casual Restaurants. But by the following year, there was already another change. In 1998, Fuddruckers was sold to King Cannon, which was a private company owned by a popular figure in the restaurant business named Michael Cannon. The price he paid was $43 million, and he was willing to invest even more money to try to shake things up and bring some life back into the brand. He introduced this rock and roll theme that was quickly adopted by all of the company-owned restaurants. There were updates and renovations. He expanded the menu items, all things that did help bring attention to the brand. But by 2010, things had gone poorly yet again. Now, being a private company during this whole time makes it hard to pinpoint exactly where things took a turn, but I have to think that lower sales from the recession would likely be a big factor here, especially considering that Fuddruckers has always been the more expensive, premium alternative to the more popular, cheaper fast food restaurants. I'm just saying, when money is tight and you want a hamburger, you're more likely to go to a place like McDonald's than a place like Fuddruckers.
Are
That
all
right there
water
is
is
when they filed
Gatorade?
for bankruptcy, an
Huh?
event that quickly led to two more changes in ownership. Straight out of that bankruptcy, their assets were bought for $40 million by a private equity firm called Tavistock.
Sorry, I have not been keeping
Again,
up
not
with
among
chat.
the
I've
most
been
important
talking with a
changes
friend
on the
about
list,
Metal
because
Gear.
about a month later, those assets were resold. this
Linty,
time for
that is
$61
because there are not a
million,
million
and the new
tiny
owner was another
Radagon
popular restaurant
dogs
chain called
inside of my
Luby's.
blood.
I have to admit, it seems like another good fit. Oddly enough, Luby's is
I sneer.
another cafeteria-style
Hello,
scene.
sneer.
We keep coming back to that. They were also founded in San Antonio, with the biggest market still being in Texas. And
But
they had
yeah,
somewhat of
no,
a
in
different
all
customer
reality, I
base.
am not sick.
Luby's is more
Uh,
traditional and intended for adults, but
Hopefully.
Fuddruckers has for a long time found success by attracting families and children.
Yeah.
Going back to 1990, they had a great idea
Linty,
by
I'm
starting this
freaking
promotion where
punching
kids could eat
myself
for
in the
free
head.
Monday through Thursday
I'm
after
not
4
even
p.m.
sick.
Those were the hours where they were having trouble getting business, and it was effective. They even provided things like balloons and video games. The specifics vary based
Terry
on the
the
location, but
sickness.
Fuddruckers grew this reputation
Terry
of being a fun
COVID.
place for kids. So then, that motivated Luby's to try out these dual concept locations, with the idea being that the adults would want to go to Luby's while the kids would want to go to Fuddruckers, so that building would be like the best of both worlds. There was a big vision in bringing these two companies together that once again, unfortunately, never truly came together in the way that many people had hoped. Luby's was already dealing with falling sales and high debt before they spent the $60 million to buy Fuddruckers, and then they spent another $11 million to buy Cheeseburger in Paradise, effectively
I don't think
combining
I've ever
3
heard of
restaurant
Luby's
chains
either.
that were having trouble. Most of the Cheeseburger and Paradises were quickly shut down or converted into Fuddruckers. By 2018, same-store sales were consistently dropping across the board,
For
motivating
every
them to close
fucking
locations
time-
along the way. We can say that
Every
the expected
fucking time they're
efficiencies
like,
didn't turn out
"Ooh,
to be
this
all that
brand
efficient."
decided to
We can
put
say that
both
the
of these
cafeteria-style
restaurants in the
restaurants
same
general were
place.
declining because they were no
It
longer
never
preferred by
fucking
customers.
works.
Or we can say
That
that the
never
multiple chains were
works.
still being held down by financial and operational issues stemming back years earlier. And all of that was happening before the pandemic. I don't think I have to tell you that it exaggerated all of their issues, and by the middle of 2020, major changes needed to happen. That's where it was looking like it might have been the end of Fuddruckers, but in 2021, they did find a buyer that was willing to try and save the brand. Back to the list, the new owner is Black Titan Franchise Systems, a franchisee of theirs that
Okay,
is
Ben,
owned by
good night,
Nicholas
y'all.
Perkins.
Good night, Ash.
For
See you in
$18.5
5,
million,
Ash.
he took control of the
Also,
remaining 92
Lindsay,
Fuddruckers locations.
I think that might be
Deal made him the
Bloodborne. I'm
first
pretty sure that's
African-American
Bloodborne.
with 100% ownership of a national burger franchise.
God, I
Does
wanna
seem to
play
be at least
Bloodborne.
Somewhat personally
Say,
motivated,
God, I
but
want
he
a
says he
a
believes
national
in the
burger
strength of the
franchise.
franchisees and that he has big
Oh my
plans to
God.
stabilize the brand,
But,
reposition it,
like,
and eventually make it grow
I'm not,
again.
like,
So it's not
PS4
necessarily
is
the
fucking
end of
expensive,
Fuddruckers just yet anyway, though
more
they
so
have
than
been
I would
kind
really
of
want to
circling
play, like,
down the
one
drain for
game.
quite a while. Let me know in the
Bloodborne is
comments,
mercifully
what
cheap,
do you see
but,
for the future of Fuddruckers? You wouldn't think
God,
that the
I-
restaurant that has the world's
I
greatest
wish so
hamburgers
badly
would be
that they
going
would
through so
release
much trouble,
Bloodborne on
since you think
PC
it's
so
enough
I
to
could
save
play
them and
it.
keep them stable,
Me
or do
too.
you even agree that it is in fact the world's greatest hamburger? And if it's not Fuddruckers who's
It
serving
feels
it,
like
then who
the
is?
most Kid
And
Gorga
any other
game.
thoughts you have
Also,
about
Lindsay, if you
Fuddruckers
want to
or
fight
any
the
of the other
actual
things I
moon,
talked about in
that's
this video,
Toho
leave
15.
them in the comments. I'd like to
Bunty
hear
throws
what
the
you
moon
have
at
to
you and you
say.
can shoot it. She does
Thank you
this
for
twice.
watching.
Bug, I do know about the cum dungeon.
The Cumfuck Dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh, also there's a video that I wanted to pull up. Hold on. Sorry. I keep seeing this video in media share, and I've been meaning to watch it, and I keep forgetting every single fucking time.
So the question was, at season 6, there was only a few episodes.
Right.
Right.
Ash put this in
These are
media share,
things
and they're like,
that they don't
"Wait, hold
share
on."
with the actors oftentimes. That was another show where we would take long spaces recording because that show was made with traditional animation, in the sense of there was a small AKA Cartoons office in Gastown in Vancouver, and they would draw every single frame by hand, every single frame. So every second of animation took 36 sketches, I suppose, 36 frames a sec, and that's why it would take a long time. So I don't have an answer to the question, unfortunately, but other than to say we lucked out that we got 10 years out of it, and we got
That's
a
a
couple of
very
cool
good box.
specials. I mean, the Christmas special was one of my favorites because I got to sing the Get My Yak song, and they gave me no notice. Doing Rolf's voice is kind of weird anyways, but when they have a really fast-paced song with all these foreign-sounding names, they literally just handed it to me and they go, "Oh, you're gonna sing a Christmas song." I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, "Yeah, you just do it now." And I'm like, "All right, either this is gonna take 1 or 2 takes, or we're gonna be here all day." And we did 2 takes, and then we go. Luckily.
That is how I feel
Do
even
you have
doing
an
anime.
idea, in your opinion, what country would you say Rolf is from?
That's a secret I can't share. Yeah, I could tell you, I'd have to kill you. Yeah.
Can you say a Goku quote in Rolf's voice though?
A Goku quote in
Rolf's voice.
Oh, that tub of lard was a good warm-up, yes?
Good stuff.
Kamehameha!
Kamehameha! Ed boy?
All right, everyone, round of applause. We're going to
is this still?
What is up, you guys? It's your friend T Cook. I wanted to get on here.
Who the fuck you
Oh
are.
god.
I don't know who the fuck that guy
Frito-Lay
is.
has been dominating
I just
the
saw
US snack food
psychological
market,
warfare.
particularly chips.
Oh,
Ever
God.
since the 1960s, Frito-Lay has been part of Pepsi. It was actually that merger that created the PepsiCo company that still exists today. Well, in 2022, you may be shocked to hear this, in North America, Pepsi sold almost as many Frito-Lay products as they did beverages, $23 billion in sales compared to $26 billion. To put that into context, $23 billion in sales is more than most of the companies on the Fortune 500 list, and that is not even the most impressive part. Frito-Lay is by far Pepsi's most profitable segment, generating more than twice as much income as their beverages. Now, I couldn't tell you their exact share of the chip market because it's reported differently depending on the metrics and the source, but I can confidently say that in North America, it is well over 50%, meaning when you're at the grocery store in that chip aisle, most of what you see is made by Frito-Lay. I recommend a video I made a few years ago that details their size and variety of brands if you want to hear more along those lines, but ever since, I have wanted to revisit this topic in a different way. For one,
Oh my
it's fun
God,
to talk
Ash.
about, and for two, there is a lot to talk about, most of which I did not even touch on in that first video. For today, I want to isolate 5 of their key brands and talk about how they came to be, how they've grown, and how they've contributed to the overall success of the company. A big part of that, by the way, has been their marketing efforts. They have been known for their memorable campaigns, commercials, mascots. There is so much to talk
Blinky,
about when it
also
comes
in
to
Discord.
Frito-Lay. So let me get started with the first brand, Fritos. The word
Ash, I
Frito
thought you were
means
going to bed.
fried in Spanish. It makes sense
Yeah,
given
aren't
that it is a
Oh, you
fried
also
corn
got
chip.
a
Elmer
cowboy
Doolin
neck
is the man
blanket
behind
for
the
Kid.
brand here. In 1932, during the Great Depression, he was operating an ice cream business that was struggling so badly that he was motivated to seek out
why
a
is this
new
a
line of
fucking
work.
webm? I
So he
knew it
connected
cannot
with
be a
this man in
webm.
San Antonio selling fried corn chips for 5 cents a bag, who was looking to sell his entire operation before he returned home to Mexico. Since the chips were tasty enough and cheap enough, during the Great Depression, Doolin felt that it was a promising opportunity. For the price of $100, he bought the recipe, 19 customer accounts, and the equipment to produce it. At first, he was selling chips out of his car, making only a few dollars a day, but things impressively
I am
slowed
learning
up over
about
years.
the,
He moved into his garage, then a manufacturing
bad
facility, relocated
zombie
to
game
Dallas
that
for easier
FromSoft
distribution,
made.
hired salesmen, and by the
Nice.
1950s, it was a
Which,
multi-million
if I had a
dollar
nickel for
operation.
every
At that
zombie
time,
game
it
that
started
took place in
advertising
Tokyo, I'd
Fritos
have
in
2
nationally
nickels.
distributed magazines, but the first truly recognized promotion for the brand
the other
was
one,
from their
Dead Souls?
mascot, the Frito
Yep.
Kid. See, in 1955, a popular theme park opened. It was called Disneyland. Within a month, Doolin opened up a Mexican-inspired restaurant inside of the park called Casa de Fritos. The Frito Kid was this cowboy character that had already been around for a couple years, but this restaurant was like his big break. He was used all over in the promotions for it, and as part of an unconventional, minor-themed vending machine located inside of it, where customers would buy bags of Fritos for a nickel. The Frito Kid went on to appear on The Today Show in the first ever TV promotion for Fritos. I should mention that he was still
Where
their
did I put
mascot when
this
Elmer
logo
Doolin
in
passed away from a
here?
heart attack in 1959, when Frito merged with Lay's in 1961, and when they merged with Pepsi in 1965. However, in
Humidifier.
1967, the Frito
Oh
Kid was
my
replaced by a
God.
seemingly more effective, yet much more controversial mascot. I'm going to do my best to be
this a
sensitive
hat,
when
or
I
does
talk
this
about
just go next to
Frito
her?
Bandito. He was essentially a Mexican-American stereotype that
We're
would
gonna get
humorously
Kit
try to
better.
steal Fritos
Yeah,
from
Kit, you're
people.
gonna be better
He was
in no
created by
time.
Tex Avery and voiced by Mel Blanc,
God,
the same
I
people
am
behind
not
many
even
of the
sick
Looney Tunes
unless this is
characters,
somehow
including
supposed to
Bugs
get me
Bunny
out of
and
Millennia
Speedy
Hell.
Gonzalez, who does sound very similar. Frito Bandito has been considered harmful and racist by many people, even at the time. Frito-Lay conducted a survey that said 85%
Speaking of which,
of
I actually am
Mexican
gonna be out of
Americans were
Millennia
perfectly
Hell
fine with
because
the
I
kid.
need to go
But the
on some
newly
other
formed
shit.
National Mexican-American Anti-Defamation Committee continuously protested it. After a couple TV stations refused to air the commercials, Frito-Lay eventually did a redesign of the characters. They got rid of his gold tooth and some other points of protest, but it wasn't until the committee threatened a $600 million class action lawsuit against Frito-Lay in 1971 that they finally agreed
that
to
doesn't
stop
make
using him
sense.
altogether.
No.
Throughout the next decade, he was replaced by W.C. Fritos, based on W.C. Fields, and the Muncha Bunch Cowboys that were later turned into an annoyingly catchy song. Alright, I've talked
hate
enough
that.
about Fritos for
I
right
hate
now,
that a
and
lot.
I'm anxious to move on to my own personal favorite, Cheetos. My goodness, I'll admit that I have gone through stages in my life where my fingers were orange practically all the time. The name itself is likely a combination of the words cheese and Frito.
Oh,
It
it's
was even
probably in my
hyphenated in the
overlays.
beginning, and that makes
part
perfect
of the
sense
chat
because
box.
they were
Yeah,
the
there it
next
is. Okay.
nationally successful product to be launched by the Frito company. Doolin himself was
Editing
credited
in a
as their
program that's
inventor
good
all the way
for
back
editing.
in 1948
Wow.
before any of the
God,
versions.
yeah, maybe.
In fact, the success
Maybe
of
that's a good
Cheetos is believed to be
idea.
a big
Procreate is
contributor
good for
behind
drawing,
that initial
but I
Frito-Lay
found that I
merger.
kind of
See, in
fucking hate it for
1945,
anything
Frito
that's
and
like
Lay's were two separate
traditionally
companies
graphic
that started
design.
working together to help
Fucking
each other
sucks
get
for
their
me.
chips to people. That year, Lay's was given the rights to make and sell Fritos in the southeastern part of the country. So 3 years later, when Cheetos were introduced, they worked together to
Disclaimer, do
distribute
not
them
fuck a
around the
bridge.
country to quickly make it a national success. By 1961,
I guess
they
you
were
could if
working
you really
so
wanted to.
closely together that it made perfect sense to combine forces to create a company with sales of over $100 million a year. It was 10 years after that when Cheetos introduced their first mascot, which was not a cheetah, it was a mouse, which I think actually makes much more sense for a mouse to advertise a cheese product. And this was not a regular mouse. This mouse was very classy, wearing a suit and speaking in a professional manner. It was actually right when the Puffs came out, so we spent a lot of time advertising those with the tagline, I like these commercials, but they were phased out by the 1980s, and in 1986, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, they introduced Chester Cheetah. It was with the tagline, it ain't easy being cheesy.
I'm just a cheetah. I'm just a cool dude in a loose mood.
I could have, like, before I
Such an
even
embarrassingly
knew,
adorable mascot.
before I
But
even
effective. He
knew,
became
I was so
popular
sure that
in
Chester Cheetah
1992,
came out
Fox was trying to
in
launch
the
a
80s.
Saturday morning cartoon called Yo, It's the Chester
There was
Cheetah
no
Show.
way
It never
he
happened. It
came
was
out
protested by
anywhere
certain
other
groups
than the
claiming that the
80s.
show would just be a big commercial for junk
True.
food. But he was the focus of a video game that year released for home console called Chester Cheetah Too Cool to Fool.
God damn it, it's a different bridge entirely.
These names. And that was the same year, by the way, as the introduction of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And yes, I'll admit that oftentimes my fingers are red as well. In 1997, he received a new voice actor and a new slogan that he still says today, dangerously cheesy. The next brand is going to be much quicker, Ruffles. And if you know anything about Ruffles, you know that they have ridges. That has been the focus of so many of their campaigns. I like this one, where Baby Horton says Ruffles have ridges as his first words. It is so adorable. That's the entire gimmick. They're not your average everyday potato chips because they have ruffles. And those ruffles really do make them different. They were invented in 1948 by Bernhard Stammer, coincidentally the same year as the Cheeto. But unlike the Cheeto and everything else I'm focusing on today, ruffles were created outside of Frito-Lay. Stammer had no association with them. He invented the chip, sold it successfully for 10 years, and then sold all of the rights to it to the Frito company. And I do want to point out that everything so far, Fritos, Cheetos, and Ruffles, were all successful products sold by the Frito company
Any fart
before they
stream?
combined with
Giving
Lay's
the
or
unwashed
Pepsi.
heathens what they
The next
want,
brand
I
was
see.
the first to be launched nationally.
Yeah,
my
actually,
God.
okay, well, in
I'm sure you
commemoration
know
of
them
that, I
because
guess
they
I
have grown
should
to
try
be
this
one of the
guacamole
biggest on the
gamer
market,
fart. Let's see.
Doritos. The name Dorito is derived from a Spanish word that means little bits of gold. The origin of the chip is not completely confirmed, but the version that is most
definitely
commonly
is like
reported,
lime.
and the one that I like the best, goes right back to that Disneyland restaurant,
something. That
Casa
makes
de
sense for guacamole.
Fritos. They were
This
throwing
needs
away
some ice.
stale
I'll be back in a
tortillas. They
second.
were advised to instead fry them and sell them to the customers, but for a while, the Frito-Lay company did not know that the restaurant was doing that. Until Arch West, a marketing vice president, went to the restaurant, saw it was happening, saw how much people liked them and how tasty they were, and thought that it would be a good idea to package them and sell them throughout the country. Doritos were launched as a plain version in 1967, but a lot of people thought that they were too bland, so the company launched a taco flavor the following year, a nacho cheese flavor 4 years after that, and of course we can't forget Cool Ranch that came out 14 years after that and numerous others since. Though, oddly enough, market research showed that many people believed that the Doritos were too strong and thick, so that motivated Frito-Lay to come out with a thinner, plainer spin-off in 1981 branded as Tostitos. It was their biggest new product introduction ever at the time, with $140 million in sales within the first year. They have the great logo where the two T's these are secretly people dipping their Tostito into the salsa that is in the dot of the eye. But Doritos have always been the bigger brand, helped by the fact
That's
that
some clever
Frito-Lay
graphic
has
design
invested
right there.
so much into advertising them. They have paid to air commercials during 23 different Super Bowls. In the 1970s, half of their entire advertising budget was going toward Doritos to build the
Are
brand.
both of y'all
There was a
sick right
famous
now?
campaign that featured
No,
Doritos
I am
being
not.
advertised
That
with
has
the
just
tagline,
been
"Taste as
fucking
good as the
putting
crunch."
stuff on
You
my
would eat
head,
them with a crunch that was
because they think
really
it's
noisy,
funny.
often at an
According
inappropriate
to
time or
Pug and
place.
Ash, yes.
So for a snack.
I thought this was interesting. In 1995, there was a very short-lived Chester's cheese flavored Doritos, and of course, in 2012, there was the launch of the famous
Chester's.
Doritos Locos Tacos over at Taco Bell, the most successful product
Sorry.
launch in Taco Bell history, crossing
Sorry, I had an
$1 in
intrusive
sales
thought.
within a little over
No,
a year.
no, say it.
Finally, Lay's
Say it,
is the
motherfucker.
other half
Do
of
it.
Frito-Lay, and the
Do it, you
best-selling
won't.
brand that they own. The name Lay
I
comes
can't
from the
say
man who
it.
started
It's too-
it,
it's
Herman
too
Lay.
bad.
When he
It's
was
too-
10 years old, he started his first
I think I know where you're
business by
going,
selling
but I
soft
need you to
drinks,
say
and
it
his
so I can
father
add it
happened
to
be across
quotes.
the street from a small baseball park. In the 1930s, he worked in the snack food industry as a distributor and salesman, also selling
Chester's-
chips out of his
Chester's
car.
dick
Then
cheese.
in 1938, he bought the
All right, hold on,
entirety
hold on.
of the struggling Barrett Food Company for $60,000. He renamed it after himself.
Hope you two
scaled the
equally
business,
sick
added
people
more
feel better
manufacturing
soon. Hope
plants,
you
and
don't
soon
stay
started
stick
releasing
together at the
products
same
under the
time
Lay's
for a
brand name,
long.
including popcorn and, more notably, potato chips. In 1944, Lay's was among the first snack food companies to advertise.
See, if we don't stick at the
utilizing
same
their
time,
adorable
then neither
mascot
of us
named
would be able to be the
Oscar the Happy
substitute
Potato.
brain cell,
Oscar's a good
and
potato. Everybody likes
I feel
Oscar,
like that
which
would
makes
just be
Oscar
a
such
nightmare.
happy potato.
True.
My goodness. In the 1960s, following the big merger, they had a national ad campaign featuring
I have
actor
no
Burt
idea.
Lahr.
Here,
You
actually,
likely
I
know him as the
guess I have an idea
cowardly
of how this
lion
would
from The
look.
Wizard of
Let's
Oz.
see.
They already had the slogan, "Bet you can't eat just one," so the commercials would feature him
What
struggling to eat just one of them. All of it helped Lay's become the first national potato chip brand, and they've been able to hold on to that #1 spot ever since. Though there
Here's
was
how I
some
can
trouble
test
entering
this.
into the 1990s. In the previous decade, Anheuser-Busch, primarily a brewing company, started a competing brand called Eagle Snacks, and by the 1990s, it had grown enough to spark what became known as the Great Potato Chip War. The heightened competition, combined with internal factors, caused Frito-Lay to lose some market share. In short, they cut expenses by laying off over 1,000 people and invested a bunch of those savings into product research. In 1990, they launched Sun Chips. In 1992, as I said before, they launched Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and that same year, they changed the formula for Lay's and Ruffles that included a new frying process and a switch to cottonseed oil. They promoted the new chips as being tastier and crispier with more potato taste. A famous commercial featuring basketball player Larry Bird losing a bet and shaving his head featured a slightly altered slogan, "Too good to eat just one." All of those efforts helped their profits recover while their
Trying
market
to
share
see
grew back
if this
above
will
50%. In 1996,
well.
the
I
Eagle
think that
Snack
reads
brand
better
was
than my
shut
current
down.
ones,
4 of their
honestly.
5 manufacturing plants were sold to
I think that
Frito-Lay,
looks
and
okay.
Procter
Let me
&
take a
Gamble,
look.
at the time the owners
Oh,
of
yeah.
Ruffles,
I
bought
think
the
you might
rights to
even
the
just wanna
Eagle
scale it up
Snacks
a bit
brand
more.
name. So
Well,
yeah, Lay's and
here's the
all
thing,
of Frito-Lay
like,
has been through a lot.
look at-
Let me know in the
go over to
comments,
Twitch
what do you think of all
and
these Frito-Lay brands?
look at the
All
fox
eventful
next to your
stories
name.
with inspiration.
No, I'm saying, like, I know that's what I'm
Which
saying.
stood out
Maybe
to
scale
you
it
the
up
most
compared
and
to the
why? I'm also
background.
curious, which is your favorite chip between the
Like-
ones I covered?
Well,
in
no,
this
no, no,
video?
the background
Make
isn't
me
staying.
If
The
you narrow
background
down
isn't
the
staying.
choices to just
The background
okay.
is the background is
Cheetos or
just so we
Flamin'
can
Hot
see how it
Cheetos,
looks.
Which do you prefer?
Oh, okay,
It's a tough
okay.
question. And again, Frito-Lay does own many other brands like Funyuns, Cracker Jack, Rolled Gold. So if you
I was
want
like,
more
yeah,
about
I know
big
how
they
small
are,
the
I
fox
do have
is.
that other
That was
video.
why I
Any
was
other
worried.
thoughts you have about Frito-Lay, leave them in the
Yeah, that
comments.
looks-
I'd like to hear what you
I
have
think
to
that
say.
might be
Thank you for
okay.
watching.
Here, we'll just try it. We'll just roll with it. Alright, so...
Steak and Shake is pretty self-explanatory. They have an old-fashioned
I miss when
diner-type
Steak and
setting and
Shake
are famous for their
didn't suck
steak
ass.
burgers and milkshakes. I have a lot of rises and falls to talk about. They have been declining over the past few years, but there's still over 500 of them, mainly in the Midwest, but they can be found all throughout the eastern part of the country. Now, this company has been around for something like 90 years now, and over that time, it has had so many different owners and managers, each of which have made their own significant changes. I mean, this place place technically started as a gas station, so if you've been there sometime over that 90-year span, your experience is highly dependent on which year or decade you were there. Because of this, I think it'll be effective to go through the different owners and highlight some of the major impacts that they've made, starting with the founder, Gus Belt. Steak and Shake was started by Gus Belt and his wife Edith, though it wasn't their original intention. See, Gus was involved in the automotive industry, and by the early 1930s, he and his wife had become the owners of a gas station in the town of Normal, Illinois. It wasn't the biggest town, it had fewer than 7,000 people at the time, and this was near the height of the Great Depression, so they were looking for different ways to make additional money and attract customers. Their big idea was to essentially open a restaurant inside of that gas station. That's when it became a real husband and wife team. Gus was more focused on the automotive part, and then Edith would be more in charge of the restaurant. Originally, it was all-you-can-eat chicken, french fries, and coleslaw for 45 cents, and then for a little extra you can also buy beer. I get the sense that the beer became a major part of it, because it wasn't long before a nearby college started protesting it. To avoid issues there, and I suspect they felt it was a more promising direction anyway, they took out a small loan and used the money to renovate things. I would definitely consider this right here to be their biggest change to date, because it's where they found their identity. They dropped the gas station and the chicken and reopened in early 1934 as a more traditional burger
just imply something. I do need to
Steak
get
and
this
Shake.
shit on
They
record.
still stood out from the competition because, as the name reflects, their burgers were made out of steak. In fact, this is weird, but their slogan early on was "In sight, it must be right," because Gus Belt himself would famously come up in front of the customers and grind up all the steaks into patties. Not exactly something that I would care to see, but I suppose it was a cool gimmick and it helped promote the quality of their ingredients. They did place a huge emphasis on quality, along with cleanliness, two things that were not commonly emphasized among their competitors at the time, which helped make the whole transition successful. That restaurant became one of the most popular in their area. In the days before drive-thrus were popular, they added their once famous curbside service as a way to serve more customers, because there were simply more people wanting to eat their food than the tables could accommodate. Since they knew that the concept worked and had accumulated some profits, they started opening more
it'll come up again
shakes.
before long.
First
Only
in the
if you
nearby
don't
town of
wash
Bloomington,
right.
Illinois, and by
Stop!
the end of the 1930s, they owned and operated 8 of them across various parts of Illinois.
Bad.
For the next 15 years, they just continued growing, making their way into Missouri, Arkansas, Florida, and by 1954, there were 24 of them located throughout the Midwest and southeastern parts of the United States. This is where the first change in ownership happens, though I have to admit, it's probably the least significant.
No, not last stream. We had a piss stream already.
59 years old, and he had a heart attack and died. When it happened, the full ownership of Steak and Shake was transferred
That's
to
just how it goes, I
another
guess.
Edith Belt. Considering the two had started it together and had always been on the same page as far as how to run the business, not much was different. The most I would have to say about this is over the next 15 years of her leadership, the number of locations more than doubled to 50, and that's about it. Then in 1969, after 35 years of being under the control of the Belt family, Steak and Shake in their 50 locations was sold to Longchamps, which was a company known for their chain of steakhouses. Again, this wasn't one of the bigger changes. It looks like they may have become too profit-focused, in my opinion. They raised a few of the prices while cutting a few corners as far as the ingredients as a way to reduce their costs. Probably not a great direction to take things, but I say it was mostly insignificant because 2 years later, they sold it. The buyer this time was a company called Franklin Corporation, who seems to have quickly reversed most of the previous changes, but their time of ownership will be mostly remembered from their mission to rapidly expand the company's reach. Do you remember how Edith Belt was responsible for more than doubling their locations in a 15-year span? Well, Franklin more than doubled it again to 130 locations, this time within a span of 4 years. Also, it was during this time when the drive-thrus became the new industry standard, and that motivated them to mostly discontinued their curbside service. Then in 1981, 10 years after purchasing it, Franklin Corporation sold the company to this man named Ed Kelly, who then formed a parent company under which it operated called Consolidated Products, but in the year 2000, the name of everything was simply changed to the Steak and Shake Company. Before this, Ed Kelly had experience mostly with consumer food products, stuff that you'd mainly see in a grocery store, but his period of ownership is generally considered to be the most significant. Steak and Shake themselves considered him to be the modern-day founder of the company, likely because during this time they grew from 130 restaurants to almost 500, and it's where they re-established their old identity. That seems to be the case with Steak and Shake. They first found success in such a different time, and it just doesn't seem to work whenever they try to update things. Through parts of the 1980s, when Steak and Shake had some tough times, Kelly and his managers looked at things and said, we need to get back to basics. So they did everything they could to reverse any changes from the past 50 years and reinstated that black and white tile look complemented by the shiny metal everywhere. I think that the feeling of all that best complements their model, and I suppose at this point, being 50 years later, it had a classic retro look to it, which I suppose made things even more appealing. It turned out to be effective, so they responded to the increased demand by opening new locations throughout the next 20 or so years and famously extended their hours to 24 hours a day. It wasn't until 2006 when things started to go bad again, and this is where we're gonna get into it. Looking at their revenue, you might say that 2008 is when things went bad, and I would agree, that's when things went really bad. Their sales dropped by over 40 million despite opening 7 new locations. But the rising sales before that are related to having more locations, so to take out some variables, I'm gonna focus more on the changes in same-store sales. It's an average of how each restaurant performed in relation to a comparable one the year before. For this, 2006 is when it went negative, and I'm gonna say it's the start of their real troubles. When trying to find reasons behind it, there's a lot of different theories. The company themselves blamed outside factors like harsh winters and rising gas prices over that time. They are mostly in the Midwest, so weather can be a factor, but I don't know, probably not to this degree. Another thing to consider is Ed Kelly actually died in 2003. The argument could be made that his absence could have something to do with
after
it, and he believed that an increase in prices around that time could have turned away a lot of customers.
Ruby
Whatever the
Sapphire
reason is,
kind of
people
stuff.
stopped going to Steak and Shake, and that was an issue.
I kind of want Ruby to
did
be the
recover
last
from it,
one,
which
just
leads
because
me
it
to
matches
their
my red.
final change in ownership.
Yeah,
In 2008, this guy named Big
I just
Laurie
don't know
and
where
his
to
company
go
Big Laurie Holdings took control
like
of it, and
year
just
and a
let me show you the
half after
numbers. When
this.
looking at same-store sales again, and most of the numbers reflect similar, almost as soon as they took control, everything got better,
thinking
and
I'd
then
do,
things
like-
kept getting worse and worse again. I'll
thinking I'd
admit,
do,
it's
like,
hard
a
to find
Sapphire
perfect reasoning
first.
behind this, but
So,
here's
like,
what I think is the best explanation, and things
that?
do start to come together. Big Laurie has said that he truly believes in using a version of the Henry Ford model. He wants to sell decent enough food at a low
Rainbow
price,
Rare
and the
seems
thing
to be
that
a
allows him
common
to do
thing.
that is efficiency.
Maybe.
They try to get those
I feel
steak
like that'd be
burgers and
kinda
shakes out
tacky, wouldn't
fast
it?
at a minimal cost, and because they're selling so many of them, they can afford to sell them for cheap
I
and
just
make
go
only a
full
small
blue for
profit off
Sapphire?
of each one. It's a high quantity, low margin type of business, and when he took over the company, that's exactly what he
guess Sapphire would be
implemented.
deeper
To
blue,
improve
so it'd be
efficiency,
like-
he
but is
cut
that gonna
down on
read
the
bad
menu
on
items. Their
dark
menu was
mode?
8 pages when he got there,
Yeah.
but he reduced it
Like,
to
check
2.
it.
He discovered that burgers, fries, soda, and
Yeah,
shakes
well.
made up 80% of their sales, so he placed almost their entire emphasis on those.
Yeah,
He also
so if I
cut
do,
prices
like-
and forced all of the restaurants to have uniform pricing and menus. Almost all of his changes were designed to sell more food and quickly serve more customers. Some of
use
these changes
this-
were not popular among franchisees and other people involved, but we can't
Watch the
deny that
contraption.
they were effective. I suspect that the
God.
statement might be a little
putting
exaggerated,
you in
but
the
Big Laurie
device.
said that in 2008,
Oh
when he
my
took over,
God.
You going
Steak
in
and
the
Shake was at the
contraption, we
very
putting you
edge
in the
of bankruptcy,
device.
with 1.6
What
million in
if we were
cash,
both
27
girls
million
and you
in
put me
debt,
in
and
the
was losing about
contraption?
$100,000 per
God.
day in cash.
But
then, from
also,
2009
every
to
like
2015,
boss
every
door in
year,
a dungeon
Steak and
that you
Shake saw
have to
an
unlock
increase
in
in
Elden Ring
sales, an increase in
says
their number of
locked by
customers
some
served,
contraption
positive operating
if you
results,
try to
and
open it
positive
before it
same-store
unlocks.
sales. Now we have to look at the other end of this. Those are all numbers that have
reads
moved in the wrong
okay on
direction in
black.
2016 and have continued getting worse.
try it.
The explanation provided by Big Laurie here is that they were relying on outdated kitchen equipment and restaurant
I kind of want to
layouts.
move
I
where
know,
the
sounds like a
lines
lame excuse
are,
at
which
first,
should
but
be easy
I believe
enough.
it could be a big part of it. See, Big Laurie Holdings is actually a company that owns a bunch of different things. In addition to Steak and Shake, they own another restaurant called Western Sizzlin', an insurance company called First Guard, an oil company called Southern Oil, and a magazine called Maxim. But up until recently, Steak and Shake was at the core. They were performing far better than those other businesses, and I suspect
now Ruby.
subsidizing them. Simply put, the money that they were making from Steak and Shake was not put towards Steak and Shake. It was put toward all of this other nonsense. So that would explain why they were using using outdated equipment. I'm just saying, maybe it'd be smart to reinvest in their big moneymaker rather than paying $50 million for an unrelated oil company. For Steak and Shake,
Steak
it's like
and Shake owned by the same company as
Maxim. Just think of how
Dude, watching some of these
videos and
like learning like what
Fucking
holding
insane.
companies hold like the
6 to
places
8%
I
higher
eat
than the rest of the
is
industry
insane.
and longer wait
I
times.
kind of fucking hate it, dude.
Customers unhappy, and
Yeah,
when your goal
I'll
is to
show
serve
you
as
a
many customers as
holding
possible,
company.
it's not a good idea to make them wait. So that's
Oh
the
god, I
explanation that
have
comes
to
from the company,
export
and I
every
believe
single
it
one
makes
of these 3
sense.
times.
In their words,
no, wait,
we
I can be
failed
smart about
customers
this.
by not being
I can be
fast
smart
and
about
friendly.
this.
Another thing is Big Laurie took over right when the recession
God,
was
I
becoming a
hate this, I
factor.
hate
A
this,
time
I
when you
hate
would
this, I
expect
hate
that
this, I hate this
simple,
part, I hate
low
this
price
part, I hate
strategy
this
to be
part.
especially effective. Maybe we can
God.
theorize that as the economy
Alright,
recovered,
let's
it
see.
became
So I gotta
less and less
do-
attractive. Just something else to consider, but on
God,
the upside,
alright, I have
they're
an idea.
acknowledging
What
the
do you think?
issues. They temporarily
think?
shut down about 100 of their almost
Alright.
600 locations to
Watch
update the
this.
equipment and remodel them to force people to the counters rather than the tables.
You'd be
Again,
done.
a
Can they
faster and
just
more
stop
efficient way
being
of
more?
doing things. However, the pandemic has
Not
complicated
you,
things.
I'm
It turns
in
out
hell.
about half of those temporary closures are now permanent. They're switching to more of a franchising model as opposed to company-owned, which makes sense to me for a company that doesn't seem to want to be too involved.
Okay,
There's
let's
more
see.
Steak and Shake franchises over the past few years than ever before.
Icons
Let me know in the comments,
for
why does
exports.
Steak and Shake seem to be so unstable? It seems like every 10 to 15 years there's major issues requiring new owners, new management, big changes. What keeps going wrong? Is there something about an old-fashioned milkshake and hamburger stand that just has a hard time withstanding the test of time? And do you agree with my reasoning behind everything? It's a tricky subject, so is there anything major that I
did
failed to
this go?
mention?
There we
Also, what do you think of the restaurants themselves? I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, but based on the numbers, I would guess that most of you have noticed a decline starting around 2016. And any other thoughts you have about Steak and Shake, leave them in the comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.
Invisible. And new from visible. Alright. I already have...
Sabaro, you go down to the mall past that food court, get the big smell of the pizza cooking. The smell is fantastic. The taste is not as fantastic in my opinion, but I will say they've always been there. They are spread out across the country in malls, airports, universities, casinos, theme parks, but it's mostly malls. This company has been going through some tough times. In 2011, they filed for bankruptcy. Then in 2014, they filed for bankruptcy. There's a
now-
lot of reasons behind this too. I know you're thinking of a few obvious
need
ones,
to
the economy,
resize the
malls,
whole
but there's more
image.
to it. I have some reasons that there's no way you're thinking of right
just
now,
gonna
and
save
I'd
this
like to
like
build to them
this,
while
and
presenting
then-
the big picture. Sabaro started out as the classic story of a family immigrating to the US to start their own business. Sabaro was
72.
actually their last name, Carmela and Gennaro Sabaro, not the easiest names for me to say, along with their 3 sons, left Naples, Italy to move to Brooklyn, New York with
then
aspirations of starting
up
their own
that to
business.
72.
This was in the 1950s, by the way, and it took them a
Resize.
little time to get started. For years, they worked to save up enough money. Carmela was a seamstress that apparently
Alright.
specialized in sewing clothes for dolls, which actually had a pretty high demand at that time. Gennaro, along with a couple of his sons, worked at a deli, which in addition to the money,
gonna
gave
do
them the
export
experience they needed to
layers.
start their business. In 1956, it finally happened. Everything had come together, and they were able to open and
Used to eat
operate a
Sabaros all the time. I
successful
think I've been, like,
Italian-style
literally
deli in
once
their new
ever.
hometown of Brooklyn.
And it was, like-
Two things motivated them to transform that
It
Italian
was, like,
deli into a pizza place.
probably
For one,
6 or 7
they noticed that a lot
yeah,
of
probably
their
like 6
customers
years
were
ago
buying their deli
on
foods so they can
a
eat
really
them right
awkward
away.
date
They'd order
at an
some
anime
pasta,
convention.
and instead of taking it
If
home
I
like
have
you would
ever
expect,
been, I
they would just
forget.
stand there
I
and
think
eat
there
it.
is
So
maybe
it was a
one
logical
near me,
move to set
but
up a
I
little
also may
dining
be
area,
confusing it
nothing
with
fancy
somewhere
of
else.
course, just a few tables and chairs off in the corner.
Would wait
And then
until
to go
right
along
before
with this,
closing
their
time not
other
to take out the
motivation
trash for
was
the
all this
workers for
foot
a slice
traffic
of
walking
leftover
by their
pizza.
stores.
Yo,
Specifically
I would
shift
I would
workers
do
on
something
breaks
similar
or
with
during
my
their
dad,
lunch,
but
trying to
for
find something
Jimmy
quick and
John's.
easy to eat during their limited
We would
time.
come in right before
Carmela saw
closing
the
time,
demand
we
and
would
filled it by
get a bunch
simply
of
selling
food
them
and
pizza
then
by the slice.
offer to take
So now
the
they are
rolls they
still
were gonna throw
primarily
away,
a
so you
deli,
get like
but
good
then they
Jimmy
also
John's
have this
sandwich
dining
rolls.
area
It's
and
great.
are making
Yeah,
food
Hey,
Kelvin, how's it
specifically
going?
to be eaten there.
going?
I'd say almost
It's
unintentionally
the-
they
it's
were
the
slowly
White
transforming
Castle
into a
slider guy.
restaurant. In the middle of the
This kid also
1960s, they opened their first actual
No, I'm not.
made pizza. To further expand the
Fuck
business, The Sbarro family wasn't
I'm
crazy
so
about the idea of
fucking tired.
franchising it. They wanted to actually own their restaurants, which is understandable, but it makes things
They
much
donate
more
the rolls to
difficult.
the food bank here,
Really,
so you'd
if you
be
look at almost
stealing
any
from needy
popular
people.
fast
I
food
think
or
where I
quick
was
service
at,
restaurant,
they just
they
threw them
use a
out.
franchising model. It's cheaper for the
Yeah,
company.
I think
it
that's
gets the
why
name
they
out there,
they
it's
offered.
just sort of a great
I
way
meant,
to
is
grow.
she
But
sick
the
of you?
Sbarros were looking for
No, but I'm sick of
alternatives. The method
millennia.
that they
The late
found
of
was
Megala.
using the food
That's-
court, which
I could
worked
see
very well
the
for them.
attempt to
Think
save
about it.
Kelvin,
When you go to the food court
but
in the
I don't
mall,
know, that's
these are smaller
not-
restaurants. In
Didn't
Sbarro's
quite
case, one of their larger
Kid
locations
is
would
very
be about
sick,
1,000
send
square feet,
prayers.
meaning most of them were not much bigger
The
than your
only thing
garage at home.
sick about
Smaller
me are these
locations
fucking
means they're
dodge
cheaper to
rolls.
open, which means you can open more of them. To go along with the smaller size, there would be more limited menus, fewer employees,
okay, so
all
this is
of
gonna
which made
be
them cheaper to
72.
operate. And plus, advertising. When they started opening in malls in 1970, almost no one knew who they were. But now that they had thousands of people walking past them
There go
every
the
day at each
exports.
mall location, people were recognizing
Kelvin, I
them.
didn't
Even if you
do
never
that.
tried their pizza, if they were at your local mall, you knew the name.
Those are
it was
all
a means of
hats,
advertising, and
Kelvin.
getting the name out there that was completely
36?
free. Given that it provided them with a cheap and easy way to open,
36 by
operate,
36?
and advertise new locations, this mall approach
It's
turned
just
out
like
to be
the
a
worst
great
bit you
alternative
guys
to
have ever done, and I
franchising.
was
To speed things up
responsible for
even
the piss
faster, they would
stream.
enter into these profit-sharing agreements with the store managers as a way to retain ownership, but also get outside help in expanding. Up until
there's
1985,
36.
when Sbarro had well over 100 locations, it was 100% owned by the
Still one
Sbarro
of them.
family, and then some changes happened. See, in 1984,
Wait,
Gennaro
what?
died,
Sorry,
and
I
he
will
left
not
his
be reading
sons in
chat
charge
for the
of
next, like,
business.
couple minutes.
The
I'm
next
be
year,
fighting
under their
millennia.
direction,
Kelvin's
Sbarro was
victim
put on
blaming.
the stock market.
Oh
They
my
sold 30%
God.
of the company to the public for the price of $8
I have had
million.
quite enough of
They
that,
took
thank you.
that $8 million and used it to
Oh
establish
god,
a
of course at
franchising
18 by 18
system. The
this is
method
gonna
of
be
expansion
barely
that they had
fucking
actively
legible.
avoided
I
for the
hate
past 20
Twitch
years
sub
was now
icons,
going to be
dude.
their plan moving forward.
I
And
hate
it
this
just
shit
about
so
doubled the
much.
size of the company. Within 3 years, they opened more than 100 new locations. About half of those new ones were owned by the company,
Far, how's it
and half
going?
were
Welcome back.
franchises.
Hi, Far.
They continued along these
I'm in
lines
hell.
for the next decade or so.
Yeah,
not really changing
Emmy
up the
stream and get
strategy
well
much,
soon,
but succeeding
kids.
with the one that they were
Oh
using.
my
Actually,
God,
throughout the
fuck
1990s, is where
off.
you can say most of their growth
I'm
happened.
half
They
tempted
ended
to
the
buy like
decade with
4
around
extra hats
800
just to put empty
locations, and to
space in
this
the end
day,
of
they've
this
never exceeded
fucking bit
1,100.
end.
The family would either take out debt or
God.
sell more equity to raise
Could
money
just
to
buy a
continue
Kit hat
funding
that's
this
like a big
expansion.
sign that
In
says I'm not
1999,
sick.
they decided that they wanted to become 100% owners again for the first time in 14 years
They
by buying back
they
all
really
of the
fucked
stock
you.
that they had
Cup,
sold.
Cup
At that
says
point,
it
they
get
had
well
sold
soon,
about
Kit
2/3 of it,
parentheses
so
mentally.
Here, they bought it all back
Oh
for
my
the price of
God.
$390
I
million.
will kill your god,
But
eat
then,
it,
8
shit
years
it out
later, in
alive again, and
2007,
kill it a
they went
second
the
time.
opposite way by selling 100% of the company to a
reminds me, I should
private
try
equity
this gamer
firm
card
called
now that it's got
Mid-Ocean
paint in
Partners
it.
for the price of
God.
$450 million, valuing the company considerably lower than their deal in 1999. So for the first time in Sbarro's
That's not bad.
existence, the Sbarro family had nothing to do with the company, and I have to say, they sold it at a perfect time, because soon after is when everything started going bad. Let me try to explain what happened, because they were
Alright,
suddenly hit by a storm
so-
of issues, the combination of which amounted to something much
Teehee,
larger
and
than
then
the
what?
sum of the parts. I'll start
Concerned
off
by
with
where
the obvious
that's
ones.
leading.
The recession.
Oh my
I
God.
don't think I have to say
Cup,
much
are you
here. In
into
2008,
fucking,
the economy was struggling, and it was bad news for Sbarro. They continued opening new restaurants that year.
I
with
don't know
barely
what
an
part of that
increase in
you're into.
sales.
If you're
And
into
then by
killing God,
2009,
I can
they
get
were
behind
closing
that.
them and making
But
less money
not
overall.
the other
second
part. The
obvious
other part's
reason
fucking
is
weird. Cup,
malls.
are you the
In
loathsome dung
1970s,
eater?
Malls were exploding beyond belief, and as we saw, it was a perfect way for Sbarro to grow. I think I'm safe in saying that Sbarro would have never reached this size without them. That's where most of them are located, and it's kind of their identity. Now that the
Alright,
malls don't
so
quite have the same
18?
traffic that they used to, that's bad news for Sbarro. Those are the obvious ones, but there's a lot more to it. What about the price of ingredients? It's something we don't think about as customers, but there was a huge spike in the price of flour and cheese around this time, raising their expenses and making their situation worse. Other popular pizza chains, such as Uno Chicago Grill and Round Table Pizza, were also having major issues
That was not
partially
a
attached to this.
reference to
How about
Millennium.
this one?
I
I hate to say this, but
14
Sbarro's
by-
just
Oh,
not
son
very
of a
good,
bitch.
is it?
I didn't
Oh
Of course,
my
we all have
God,
our own
Cup.
tastes and preferences, but I've never cared for their pizza, and
Well,
I think
you know
most
what?
people are in agreement.
You know what? I'm
pepperoni
that.
slice going, and it wasn't extremely gross. It was acceptable.
Here, right now, just go down to the comment section, look through a few of them, and my guess is that it's filled with people saying how much they dislike Sbarro. I just don't think
out
people
here
like
living
it,
a
and a
double
reason
life. Wait,
for it
Vicks
is that
Vapor
it's
Rub,
pre-made,
and then...
so you can order it and get
So
it
I go,
quick,
okay, 2 more
effectively
hats.
sacrificing
I'm
the
loathsome.
quality
People
and
tell
the
me
I'm
I'm full of
making a
for
fucking-
convenience.
so I gotta
Again,
be.
I'm
in my
making a
experience,
fucking thing
they're not
right
very
now.
cheap or tasty or healthy. I'd argue the only thing that they
Alright,
compete on
so
is
the
convenience.
fucking-
If you want to
alright,
get a
we got
slice
the
of pizza
Vapor
and you're at the
Rub.
mall or an airport, more often than not,
And
they're your
then-
only option. If you were to take them outside of these areas, they're now forced to compete with
That's so
Pizza Hut
fucked.
and Domino's on all of these other factors, which, quite honestly, I don't think they can. To go along with that, they're not as big. Just the fact that they're smaller makes them weaker and more likely to be affected by these outside conditions. Like I've said, they've never crossed over 1,100 locations. Today there's something like 600 of them in the US. Compare that to the 7,500 Pizza Huts and 6,000 Domino's.
You guys, I
meaning
can lean
they're
into
at
this
least
just a
10
little
times
bit.
smaller than the biggest
Hold
chains
on,
in their industry.
hold on, I'm doing
Now,
a
everything I
thing.
just mentioned would be reflected through their operating income. If their sales go down or expenses go up, that would hurt their operating income. These figures are no longer available after 2009, but looking at the 10
Sleeping with
years
my
leading
windows and
up to
doors
that,
locked because a
it's
certain
really clear
someone
where
may
things
murder
went
me
bad.
tonight.
Now, let me add
After
another
this
thing
one,
to
yeah,
this.
they might.
Remember the Sbarro family?
I'm
sold chain
going
in
to fucking
2007.
get you.
Well, about 200 million
I'm
of the
going to
450
track down each of you
million paid for
individually
it
like
was
your
funded
Yakuza
through
sub-story
debt.
characters.
So let's look at their debt graph.
Kid, I'm
It's
just
always
trying
been a
to
little
help
high.
you
They
get
were funding
better.
expansion through debt
Oh
arguably
my
more than they
god.
should have even
Well,
before
hold
the
on,
debt.
hold on. Do I have
Acquisition
the
took
hat
that
for
debt to a
you?
new level. High debt like this also comes
I'm going
with
to
high
put it in
interest
Discord
payments,
and
around
I'm going
$30
to spend
million
some
a
points
year,
and
which
then I'm
wasn't
going to
even
kill someone
included
with a
in this
rock, and that
operating
someone
income
is
graph.
Millennium
Let
Blade
me
of
show you their
Mikolov.
debt to equity ratios because I think it'll help add perspective.
That's a joke,
to this.
unless
This
you
is a
count the
ratio
sword as a
comparing
very,
their
like,
debt to their
elaborate
equity.
rock.
Ideally, you want the number to be low.
Alright,
That would
let's
mean that
see.
you're not as leveraged and likely in a better place to pay back debts. In the first 8 years here, it was hanging around 3 to 4, meaning 3 to 4 times more debt than equity,
Alright.
which already isn't ideal. But then these
Also, I
final
hope
2
you get one
years
soon,
with
Emmy.
that
Thank
acquisition
you.
and
You're
everything
like
else
the
happening,
second
it got a
person
little
who
out of
said
hand.
that
A high
tonight.
ratio like that means they probably can't pay off their debts. So 2 years later, in
said it last night, I
2011,
don't count.
they couldn't pay off their debts. When you can't pay off your debts, you file for bankruptcy, and that's what happened. According to the court documents, their debt was $487 million going into the bankruptcy, giving them a ratio of 30.4. Through these proceedings,
God,
ownership
perfect.
was exchanged for debt reduction, meaning the new owners had a company with only $165 million in debt. They were optimistic and brought in this new CEO with this great turnaround
5 things
plan
proving
that
you're
I won't
sick
talk
versus
about
one
because
sad
it was mostly
chat.
just
I
worthless.
wonder which
After
one
another
people
3
would
years,
Sending you
in
something
2014,
for
the
probably
new
after
owners
stream
filed
because
for
it's a
bankruptcy
ridiculous
because
amount
it
of
turns
text
out
in
that
Lancer
was
game
still
mechanics.
way too much debt. Those filings showed a ratio of 16,
But
which
it is
better, but
extremely
still
funny.
ridiculous. They've since come out of that bankruptcy with another turnaround plan, which I don't have much faith in. But hey, they've gone a few years without filing for bankruptcy, so
Yes, alright.
that's good.
Give me
Some
one
of the major
second.
changes they've made, their headquarters is down in Ohio as opposed to New York. They say that they've placed a bigger emphasis on fresher, better ingredients, which I don't really know
I
if that
don't
was
know
ever
if the
their
pizza
issue.
cutter will
They
make
started
her
this chain
worse.
of higher quality standalone restaurants.
What if
where
we
you
were both
actually
girls
make
and you
your
broke
pizza
me with a
after
pizza
you
cutter?
order it, but it goes by a different
you
name.
would be
And
a
considering
pizza.
there's only a few
It's
locations in the
ASL for
Columbus
I'm
area,
sick.
I can't imagine that having much of an impact. Rebranding. They've dropped that Italian
Wait.
flag theme in
Oh,
favor of this
American
pizza slice
Sign
outline.
Language.
Actually,
I
don't
thought
like
you
it. It
meant
looks more
age,
modern
sex,
and reflects that
location.
They sell pizza by the slice.
God.
There's been some other efforts, but other than that lack of
I'll show
bankruptcy,
you a
I just don't
sex
see many
location.
signs of recovery.
God
Quite
damn it,
honestly,
Pug, this is
I don't
a
know
wet
what they
pee.
should do. Maybe there's no real answers here. The pizza industry
Alright,
is
whatever, I'll
highly
save it
competitive,
anyway.
and I don't know if they have what it takes to compete. And until they do,
Emmy
they're
is too
stuck in their
distracted
world
caring
of
for
malls
kids to
and
be
airports,
drawing.
and I don't know how
I
bright
am-
the future
I
looks
hate
for them
you.
either.
multitasking
Let me know in the
here.
comments. What do you
Did
think
you
they
know
should do?
WebP
I know your
stands
go-to
for
answer is
We
going to
Hate
be
You and
stop
also
making better
humanity at
pizza,
large.
But in doing that, they may have to
Where do I
sacrifice
put
convenience,
this?
and I don't think
This
they
is
can
because
afford to
only a
do that.
deranged
Even if they
lunatic
do,
would make
is
the
that going to
WebP
be
file
enough? I
format.
don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
it's
I've been so
true.
negative toward them, but the way that they've always competed and managed to grow to this size just doesn't work
Okay,
anymore.
let's try this again.
Also, are you one of the people that does like the pizza? And
Damn
if
it,
so,
Millennium Blade of
maybe you can
Megaloth.
offer a different perspective on all of this. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.
Looks good. Now 2-month.
Twinkies, Little Debbie, Pop Rocks, Cheetos, Lunchables. No, this isn't an updated rendition of my favorite things from The Sound of Music. It's a history of our nation's favorite junk food. For the best way to understand America is not by looking into the hearts and minds of its citizens,
This
but
already
by the
looks
content
better than
of
what
their
we had
snack
before.
box. Today on Weird History
Yeah.
Food, we're talking
definitely more like,
America's
I guess,
favorite junk
recognizable.
food through the decades.
They're
But before we
similar.
get started, be
Yeah.
sure to subscribe to the
There's a
Weird
lot of
History
the,
Food
and
channel,
even then, like,
and
a
let
lot
us
of
know
the
in the
talks here
comments
just
below
kind of
what
blended
other
into the
snack
dark
food
mode background.
topics
I'm sorry.
you would like
It's
to hear
easier
about.
to read them at a
Hey,
glance.
Don't tell a dentist about
Yeah.
this video.
Oh yeah, I
4
guess
out
you
of
are
5 of
fucked
them
if you're
won't
using
recommend
light
it.
mode for the first one. Maybe you should add like a thin outline or something.
Oh, I meant like
Junk food as we know it today
for
really
now,
began at the turn
on
of the century.
dark mode.
The dawn of the Industrial Revolution
the ears
really gave
blend in.
mass-produced
Oh,
snacks
yeah,
their
yeah.
legs.
Not with the ones
So
you're
what
doing now,
was
but
our
like with the
nation's
ones
very
we've had for
Well,
a
I
while.
realized the base
Something
one
to go
for the
along
ones
with
I'm doing
America's
now
favorite
is
sport,
just
Cracker
white.
Jack, that
So
features America's
I
enduring
maybe
banger,
need
Take Me Out to the Ball
to
Game.
remember
You'd think
the
that in
one person.
120
Any
years,
light
there
mode
would have been
users in
some
here?
experimentation.
I used to be, and then I learned
But
dark mode
if
existed.
combining popcorn,
I don't know how you can
molasses,
go
and
that long
peanuts
without
together
realizing
into a
that.
hardened sludge
Valid.
that will crack your teeth ain't broke.
It's the only situation I can
fix
think of where yeah, you
Well,
just
except
don't
your
know.
teeth. That'll need it.
Yeah, I literally
Jack
just
sold
never
at the
looked at my
Chicago
Twitch
World's
settings,
Fair
because
in
why
the
the
late
fuck would I
19th
look at my Twitch
and got
settings?
such
I
rave
thought
reviews
cheese
that
was
it
the national
repackaged
food
for
of
mass
America. No,
distribution
it's
across the
baseball.
land. Fast
No, it's
forward
No,
military
cheese is French.
when
intervention.
public speaker Francis Woodward
So
God.
pioneered the formula for flavored
Yeah, clearly it's just
gelatin.
pure oil. I
He
drink
marketed it
oil
as
like
Jell-O, and boy, did the
straight from
country
the
go
oil
nuts
rig.
for it.
Use
A
light mode on
1902
most
advertisement
things?
in
Cup,
Ladies'
you're
Own Journal
insane.
referred
You're
to it
nuts.
as America's
I mean,
most
I use
famous
light mode on
dessert.
Twitter, but that's
Not
about
for
it.
nothing, but
You're
these
also
types of
insane.
women magazines weren't
What
exactly
the
impartial
fuck?
judges. At least
I don't
Like,
understand
usually-
why anyone would want light mode on anything. It just hurts
Mini
my
hot
eyes.
dogs and Jell-O?
How fucking
Not
bright do you
long
have
after
your screen
Jell-O
all the
came
time?
the Tootsie Roll in
Bright
1905.
enough.
A tiny
Like,
tube of
for me,
chocolate
just if I'm
taffy
gonna be
that only
reading a
cost 1
bunch of
cent.
shit all the
Tootsie
time,
Roll also had a
I
hygienic
tend to prefer
novelty.
like black
It
text
was the
on one.
first individually wrapped candy. Wrapping up
I
the
get
odds,
sick of it
Hershey's
so
chocolate
fast.
began as a harebrained enterprise by none other than popular carameler Milton
Nine
B.
months is
Hershey.
kind of hard to read
After
on dark
inventing
mode.
and
I might
patenting
need
his
to-
own proprietary
might need to
milk
brighten that
process
up a
to
little
develop
bit.
chocolate, Hershey founded a chocolate plant in Pennsylvania.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
In 1905,
Then again,
the
my
first
laptop
product of
says
the
it's
plant
at like
began rolling
maximum
off the
brightness, and
assembly
I just
line.
don't have a problem
The
with it,
Hershey's
so-
chocolate
I
bar.
don't know. Maybe it's my fucking glasses.
Back at a simpler time before all the world wars, things were
Alright,
easier.
so let's see how that looks.
especially
Can I see
copyright
that
infringement.
now?
Take Oreo,
I
one of
guess
the
I
most
can't
popular
refresh
cookies
my
in America.
fucking-
The cream cookie sandwich is actually a
fuck.
direct copy of a
Turn
pre-existing
your fucking
cookie,
brightness
the
down.
Hydrox.
Video
In
games.
fact,
I need
Oreo
brightness
just had
for
one
video
major
games.
difference from its Hydrox.
I've been
Lard.
fine keeping
That's
this
right.
name
Oreos
right.
had lard in them.
This is
Lard
damn
is what
fine.
makes
I don't know what
anything
you're on.
delicious. Depending on what part of the country you live in, you might swear allegiance to Hostess or Tasty Cakes. And before
I
you
also
say, "But
I also
don't
just
eat
have a
sweets,"
big
just
screen.
answer, there is
So
no
like,
third
but even on
option.
like my phone,
Tasty
I
Cakes
prefer
entered
dark
the
mode.
market in 1914.
Yeah, I
aiming
do
for
not
the
get that at
chocolate
all.
Cupcake crowd.
I just don't want
Hostess
to
followed
stare
a
at
few
white
years later in
lights. That's
1919,
just not
I
pleasant.
launching
guess.
the beginnings of a nascent sponge cake empire, which would grow to include ding-dongs, snowballs,
Maybe
and, of
everyone
course,
else's brightness
the
is
mighty
right and mine is
Twinkie.
wrong, and no,
Unlike
everyone
the
else
Hostess
is
cupcakes
incorrect.
of today, the earliest ones were just plain cupcakes.
I know how
They
to
wouldn't
change
get
it
their
to light mode on
signature
Google Apps
squiggly
without
lines of
affecting the
vanilla
Google
frosting
search.
for another 40 years.
Hey, I like
Various
dark mode Google
marshmallow
search,
paste
too.
can be found
What
in
the
late 19th
fuck?
century regional cookbooks.
Super dark background
showing
with
that
white
even
text
before mass
hurts my
production
eyes.
was a thing, they found a
How?
way to
No,
control
no, I
calories.
completely get that,
But it
especially
wasn't
if it's
until
not like
1917
kind of
that
tinted
Is it
white.
just-
That
Archibald
fucking
Query
sucks.
patented
That's
the marshmallow
awful.
fluff
Isn't that
spread,
just like
followed
you
1
should
year
have
later
bring your
by his
text size up a
revolutionary
little bit?
Fluffernutter.
No.
On the other end of
Because
the
like
caloric
having
spectrum,
like
peppermint
having the
lifesavers
huge
hit the
white
shelves in
like
1912.
flashbangs me.
Following
Like
up
why
on a
would the
previous decade's
small
invention
amount of white
individually
text
wrapped
hurt your
penny
eyes
candies,
more
lifesavers
than the
were ensconced in
fucking-
shiny foil wrappers.
No, it's the
Originally,
contrast
they were
that
shaped
hurts.
like solid
The
white
contrast
discs.
is the
The
same.
holes
If
wouldn't
you
enter the
if you
picture
invert
until
it, the contrast is the
1925.
same.
Yeah, like Twitch chat and Discord both have it like kind of tinted gray, so that is a lot more
and the
like
decade's first hit is the
workable.
Oh yeah,
indescribably
gray.
delicious
I would say gray is
Mounds
better
Bar.
than black for sure.
Composed of
Yeah,
dark
like
chocolate
Twitter
and
just has it
coconut,
like solid fucking
Mounds was
black. That
invented by
sucks.
Vincent
Google
Nittokes
usually has it like
and sold to the
blackish.
Pizza
That
Hut
sucks.
Candy Company in
Well,
1929,
Huh.
who also produced Almond Joys, which, as we all know, are just Mounds
I think
bars
you're
with
just
a big
insane.
almond in the middle.
No, yeah,
It's
Twitter is
called
black. You're right. You're
Knowing
right.
your audience. 11-year-old
doesn't
Frank
bother me
W.
that much.
Epperson accidentally invented a cold, tasty treat when he left powdered
'Cause, like,
soda
just,
on his frozen
like,
front
reading the
porch overnight,
Text isn't that
with
bad.
the
It's
mixing
just
stick
it's having a
still stuck in
whole
the
like
packet.
bright white
In
screen.
1923,
hurts me.
Epperson patented his
If
creation.
you want to
I know,
listen
I
to the
know.
video,
which his
no.
children helpfully redubbed the popsicle.
Fucking dagger.
Harry
It's-
Burnett Reese was
it's
a
my
Hershey
stream
dairy
and I get
farmer
to
and
talk when I
foreman
want
who had
to.
his own
If I look at a
idea
black
for
page with white
delicious
text, the text will be
bowl-shaped
burned
candy
into my
in
retinas and I'll see it for the next few
1928,
minutes
and
wherever I
left to
look.
make his
Even on
dream
the
a
lowest
reality.
brightness, what the
His
fuck?
peanut butter cups were an immediate smash hit, and after
Okay,
he died, his 6
so-
sons sold their dad's product to Hershey's. for
That is how I
shares worth
feel having a
$3.6
giant
billion.
white light
But Reese wasn't
shining
the
on
only guy
my
out there with
eyes,
big
even at the
ideas for
lowest
peanuts.
brightness.
In 1920, Otto Y. Schnaring dropped batches of his candy
Oh,
creation
once again,
on a chartered plane.
I think your
showering
eyes are
40
just
states
fucking
with candy
weird.
bars made of peanut, caramel,
That's
and
rich
nougat.
coming from you.
That was the day it rained baby
my
Ruths,
God.
which Schnaring named after his favorite baseball
Let me
player.
go to my stream
But
manager
the
and see
truly
if I can
miraculous
see
part of his
how the
story
batches
was
look.
that his stunt didn't manage to maim anyone.
Fuck you.
Imagine being taken out by an
Ooh,
airborne
that
candy
looks
bar in the
much better.
1920s. First, the stock market.
Actually,
You guys
not
have,
overrated this time.
the
I am
silver.
killing a giant isopod.
You scroll
In the
up.
1930s, World War II was underway,
Okay, the white
and people
one
had to
reads
get creative
good,
with
but
their
I'll have
cooking
to add
habits.
a
James A.
outline.
Dewar had noticed how underused shortcake pans were
Okay, the
outside of
bronze
strawberry
one
season,
reads good.
and began filling those neglected pans with banana
Why am I
filling.
seeing Kelvin?
When
I see two
WW2 led to a
messages
rationing
back
of
to back
bananas,
from
the
Kelvin,
filling was subbed in
where
with
one of them
vanilla.
he's
Voila,
got the 3-month and
Twinkies.
one of them he's
Anyone
got the
who lives
2-month.
in the Delmarva region
Huh?
knows the tale of Herman J.
Cup
Lay,
is made of
the Willy
styrofoam, his
Wonka of
eyes
savory
are
delicacies, who introduced
Which is
America to
weird
the
because
potato
Kelvin
chip
has been
bearing
subbed for
his name
4
in
months.
1938. 20 years
Well,
later,
okay, no, he'll
Lay
have
would
the
team
3-month
up with
badge because there is no
Charles
4-month
Elmer
badge.
Doolin of the Free
No,
Market
I know.
to
What I'm
merge
saying.
into
No,
the
I know
food
that.
and
Oh,
I'm
labor
just
yeah.
like,
conglomerate.
if it had
Corn
been like he
market
just
salty
switched
snacks.
from 2 to 3,
The 30s were also a
I'd
haunting
understand
time
it a
for
lot
Frank
more.
Mars,
But
founder
it
of
is
Mars,
not.
Inc.
It is not like that at all.
It
would
This is a
break
free
this
dagger.
like
Yeah,
that.
this is a
It's
free
just like
dagger.
anything
Fuck
on
you.
paper.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
After all, it was Frank Mars who
Disagree with
introduced the
that,
world to his
because
son's
paper
chocolate
is
concept,
not
the Milky
itself
Way.
a source of
His son
light, it
was
just
Forrest,
reflects
by the
light.
way, not Bruno. The Milky Way opened the soft nougat floodgates,
Hey, can
and
you say
Mars
something in
perfected
chat
the
so I can
practice with
see
his
your... Oh wait, no,
1930
I
Snickers
scrolled up.
bar,
Okay, the gold one reads
followed
good
2
too.
years later by Three Musketeers. Both featured a nougat
Fuck
filling.
you, I did it
though
anyway.
Snickers had an
Nice.
additional caramel and
Here, I'm
peanut
just
set.
gotta type something so I could see mine. Oh yeah, so we've got the same one. So I can't even
Melts
see the
in your
9-month
mouth,
like in
not
chat
in your
yet.
hand. It wasn't
But
just
those all
someone
read
trying to
good,
be
those read
cute in
great.
M&M's slogan department.
Best
The
is yellow
1941
text on
confection
purple
resulted from a
background
wartime
anyways.
necessity, as Mars
That's like
began
a
producing
fucking...
hard-coded candies that could withstand
It's like a
overseas
fucking
travel and
HTML
store
page
for the troops.
you make in
Russian
like
immigrant Samuel
website
Bourne
webpage
was
design
already a
class.
well-known name in America's
God.
candy biz.
Hi, Emmy,
thanks
welcome
to
to the
Bourne
stream.
sucker
Hi, Cup,
machine
how's it
that
going?
inserted sticks into lollipops.
Hi,
But he
I'm,
really
I'm
broke out with
sleepy.
his
Wait, okay,
elongated
I
jelly
gotta-
beans, Mike
Alright.
and Ike's, which came in
Where
fruit
do I
and
change
cinnamon
this shit?
spice
Okay, I can turn.
flavors.
Alright, hold on. I gotta
Although
change
we
this
all
over to light
agree
theme so I can
cinnamon spice
check.
is
Oh,
the
these are
worst
way
flavor.
harder to see
Is that
now.
one Mike or
Okay, so I
Ike?
can't see cups at
By
all.
the end of World War II, Dairy Queen was open
The
for business, serving
3-month
sweet
actually
and
reads
savory
surprisingly
delights.
well.
Frito, minus
Okay,
the
I wanna
Lay's,
swap
that
the
deal
pizza
was still
cutter
in the
out for a
future,
tiny dagger
delved
right
into
now.
new types of corn
Maybe if
snacks
I
through the
make these a little
1940s,
bit
most
thicker,
notably
they'll read
Cheetos.
better.
Developed in 1948, Cheetos were made with extruded corn, blasted with cheese powder,
Okay, the
leading
bronze
to a
reads the
rise in
best.
cheese puff copycats soon after,
Here.
forever dooming the keyboards of future generations.
So really, I just need to make sure the base one reads
The
a
end
little
of World
better
War
on
II
my-
meant a boom season for America's new favorite pastime, gulping down as much fast food as possible.
Now it's showing
McDonald's,
correctly,
Jack in the
Calvin.
Box, Taco
Oh, well.
Bell, and Kentucky Fried Chicken all became household names. The ever expanding or shrinking palate of the
Technically need
average
river.
American. And the first
All right, so
national
let's go
donut
back
chain
over
appeared
here.
in 1955, when Bill Rosenberg franchised his Dunkin'
Don't know what
Donuts
build you're doing,
shop.
but she's
The
very
rise of
easily
pizza chains
staggerable.
followed a similar trajectory.
I
The
know
Italian
she
dish was
is. I
considered
am
an exotic
using,
novelty until brothers Dan and Frank
like
Carney
Katana and Bleed
began
build.
franchising their dine-in
So I
pizza
can still
parlor
stagger
in
her pretty easy.
1959.
Really, I've got her
Pizza Hut,
down
the
except for
very
Waterfowl
first
Dance.
mainstream
Waterfowl Dance
American pizza,
sucks.
began in a Kansas restaurant. Back in
So
those days,
what I did
we
was
could
I
gain in
basically
two
took a
sizes.
shit-ass regular
25 cents for
dagger
a
and
small,
put a
$1
bloodhound
for a
step
large.
on it.
I thought you were
Since
just
there
gonna
was
stop.
no
So
delivery,
basically, I took a
had to
shit.
walk in the snow, uphill
Oh my
road
god.
to get it.
No, that's how I beat a
Craft food
different boss.
scientist Edwin Treisman was a huge influence in fast
That's
food
a
innovation.
joke.
For example, we have him to thank for the
There is no
freeze-dried
boss
method
that you can
keeps
shit on to
McDonald's
win
fries
automatically.
crispy. But his greatest invention was taking cheese and
I guess metaphorically I beat Mog by shitting on him, but that was just me complaining about bleeding the whole
chemical
time.
sorcery led to one of the most
Which is something I'm very good at. I'm very good at bleeding.
What if I just did like a drop shadow?
That's not an
The
Elden
Key
Ring
Foods
joke.
entered the ring in 1960 with their individually wrapped Little Debbie snack cakes, which to this day has kept its nostalgic packaging. Meanwhile, Hunt's snack packs,
Yeah,
which became
Pug,
lunchroom staples in
Fire
1968 when
Giant's
they began
like...
selling in individual
Fire
containers,
Giant sure was a
were
Fire
originally
Giant.
stored in
Also,
one-tab aluminum
Kelvin,
cans until
honestly, I think the
1984.
hottest Millennia move is the one where she, like, kicks you up into the air and then stabs you on her sword when it comes down. That's hot as shit. I wish someone would do that
which
to me.
would become the most popular brand of chocolate chip cookies of all time.
Thank you for that, Kit.
Popular American cookie ever. Number 1 being Nabisco's own. Oreo.
Anyway, this is helped by the
Chips
fact that I
Ahoy
haven't
Monkey
gotten to
included
phase
their
2, so...
Superman mascot, Cookie Man, who valiantly
I don't know,
fought
maybe it'll
villains
get
like
better.
Fruit Fly and Bigwig, and had a chocolate
But-
chip counting alter ego,
Yeah.
Mort Meek. Can't wait to see Zach's
Okay.
land.
Kelvin, bold to assume this is new.
One of the biggest innovations in baked
New
goods
from
during the
Visible.
60s was Kellogg Pop, which introduced America to a pastry crust with a sweet filling.
I
that
am
could be
aware
popped
that it
into
gets
a toaster.
harder, I'm just not quite sure how,
Salty
other than every attack gives you
merger had
horrible
led to
fuck
one of the
murder.
most popular products yet. Doritos.
Anyway, I will not be
Released
responding to
in
chat for the next few minutes because I will
by
be
the end of
fighting
the year,
Millennia,
the stale
so
corn
all
chip
advice will
covered
be
in
taken
cheese
for the
dust was
next
the
fight.
second most popular snack in the country. The 1970s was a banner decade for snack foods. Pringles wowed the potato chip world by introducing dehydrated and reconstituted potato slices that could be stacked and sold in tubes. Ring Pops became a fashionable treat in 1975 after Topps engineer Frank
So
Richards
let's
needed an
do-
ingenious way for his daughter to stop sucking her thumb.
Bring that shit,
Pop Rocks were
Kazuma.
another curiously crackly carbonated creation only the 70s could have produced. Developed by General Foods chemists in 1956,
Meh.
it took 2 decades
Thank
until
you,
it
Cup.
finally hit shelves. After debuting in 1975, Pop Rocks enjoyed a 7-year run before
Bless
rumors
your
of a
soul,
fatal
Emmy.
reaction with soda
Fuck you,
saw
Kelvin.
the candy pulled for a decade in the 80s. Ice cream would never be the same after Vermont
know what you
natives
did.
Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield opened
You
their
covered
flagship
your
ice
mouth,
cream
oops.
parlor in South Burlington in 1978. Cohen
can't,
suffered
I
from
didn't make an
anosmia,
animation
a
for
complete
that.
lack of smell and therefore taste.
And
He
leap
relied
motion
solely on
fucking
what kids today
sucks.
called mouth feels to determine
Plus you in
the quality
advance
of
for the
his
next
cream.
50 sneezes
That
too.
led to the
Yeah, I've
pair
been sneezing a
experimenting
lot
with
for.
different
If you
textured
remember last
treats
stream,
and
I was
snacks
sneezing a lot. And I was
incorporated
like,
into the
wow,
product,
I'm
leading to the
so
most
pissed
honey
off. I'm
concoctions
sneezing a
in
lot.
dessert
Oh,
history.
it's because I'm sick. Okay, that explains that.
When Reese's Pieces came onto the scene in 1980, it was
I
viewed
wonder
as
if
the
Millennia
red-headed
would have anything to
stepchild
say
of the
about
Reese's
10 years in the
dynasty,
joint.
a relatively
I feel like she
obscure
would.
offering outshadowed by the
God.
peanut butter cup.
You say that
That all
about
changed
everyone
in
saying
1982
anything about
when the snacks
anything.
were featured in E.T.
Do I?
Extraterrestrial. Originally, Spielberg had tried to get M&Ms, but Mars
Okay.
turned him down.
Let me
Probably
refresh
should have
this
phoned home
page.
about that one. Fruit candies also had a renaissance.
Ah, Jesus fuck. Okay, I actually pulled that off. Okay.
Developed in Canada in the 1970s were originally shaped like aliens.
She got, like,
They changed
absurd
shape
healing
when they
because
hit
I tried to
American
block it
shelves
with a
in
shield instead of actually
1985
dodging.
as a
But
direct result with the cultural obsession with Cabbage Patch Kids.
Okay, now
Skittles were another
now
international
it's
invention
readable.
created by the Brits in
Now
1974.
the one.
It wasn't
one
until the
month
Wrigley
subscriber
Company
is
purchased the
readable.
brand in
Ah,
1992
shoot,
that
no, not the
Americans could
pug
taste the
puke.
rainbow. Nabisco's Teddy Grahams, debuting in 1988,
Oh my god,
were
oh my
marketed as
god,
the
stop
healthy
doing
cookie
that.
option for children.
There's a few things
Not
I can
sure why.
expect to hear from
Maybe
Kid
because
every
they're so
stream.
small.
10
We can
years,
also
kitty
thank the 80s
comments,
for the
and some
rise
Ultra
in
Kill
microwavable
reference.
frozen snack
Kit, you're getting
options.
too predictable.
Pizza rolls, invented in
Fuck
1951
you.
by Gene Palucci. A house of
Ah!
1985.
They're starting to
Those
figure
very
out your
proud of the
lines.
oh my god, yeah.
Also, welcome.
Yeah,
to
just
everyone.
like me with Millennia.
What better treat
God.
for the end of the
I am
7th century
figuring-
than
they are
Peppermints,
figuring out my
the
attack
Betty Crocker's mad
telegraphs.
experiment that flew in the face of conventional cookie frosting logic. Unlike most of the other entries on this list,
What if I
Dunkaroos
did a
are
drop
no
shadow
longer
for like
around,
all of
having been
these? Would that
discontinued
help?
in
Late,
2005.
motherfucker.
Wah, wah. Probably because each package came
You'd
with
help with
cookies
all of
and a
them.
separate, sealed dipping cup of pure frosting. Naturally, kids caught on pretty quickly that this design allowed for a cookie
I
optional
hate
dining
you and your
experience.
moderate regenerative
It mainlined
abilities.
straight sugar into their veins, which is probably why it's no longer available to purchase.
Kid getting called out
Two
by
fruity fan
kids.
favorites during the 90s were also Betty Crocker Original, Fruit by the Foot, and
Oh,
Gushers.
yes.
Both showed up in
Phase 2.
1991.
I have one
though the
flask of
idea
healing. This is gonna be
dehydrating fruit
awful.
into leathery strips has been around since before the invention of language. Even so, Fruit by the Foot was clearly modeled around fruit roll-ups, which had been patented a decade prior. Gushers were individual packets of fruit gummies filled with a sweet, oozy syrup. If your parents were trying to keep up the appearance of giving you a well-rounded lunchbox,
Emmy,
you
can we
might be
get back?
familiar
Hello?
with Go-Gurt. Originally billed as Canadian Yoplait
Not like
tubes,
it's showing
that's an
tonight.
unfortunate
What y'all
name.
talking about?
They first hit American shelves in 1998, appealing to busy kids on the go who didn't have time for spoons.
I gotta
And
sneeze
finally,
again.
Lunchables.
But I can't.
Also,
TV
shit,
dinners
God, you're right.
afternoon
Oh my god,
were created
did
after
Elden Ring just
lunch meat
fucking
lobbyists
crash before I got to phase
Meyer
2? I'm
petitioned
killing
Kraft to
someone.
find a way to boost sales for Big Baloney.
Can I look
This
at
ham-fisted
this
agenda owed a debt to
on
the
this
rise of
window?
working moms, who suddenly had less time to prepare lunches for
I'm
kids,
pretty sure it
who,
did.
frankly, would rather
Why are
eat
Fuck.
American
lunch
ads
than
always
pure
so
frosting.
extra? A lot of the
It all
older
created
ones
the
are better
perfect
than the
storm
newer
for the
ones.
pre-packaged lunch
Yeah.
revolution, which eventually expanded to 30 variations, including nuggets,
I wish I
pizzas,
could
tiny
see
burgers,
when you upload
and
emotes on
nachos.
Twitch.
You know, the
It
four
gives
basic
you
food
like
groups.
a
So
preview
what do
for
you
dark
think?
and light
What
mode.
was your favorite junk food?
They do not
Let
do
us
that
know
with
in the
sub
comments
badges.
below. And while you're at it, check out some of these
It's kind
other
of
videos
annoying.
from Weird History Food. In the
We
Pantheon,
watched this one last time. Trying to remember which of these we haven't actually watched before. Did we do the McRib yet? Here, we'll just do the McRib.
I think we did, but it was good.
Fuck it. Good enough for
very
me.
few fast food culinary creations have quite the lore around them as McDonald's The
YouTube
McRib,
is on light
a
mode, but I draw
creation
my
of both an
thumbnails for
animal
dark mode
scientist
users
and a
because something
fine
like
dining
80%
chef.
of
The
people,
McRib
yeah.
is the fast food white whale, appearing seemingly at random and disappearing just as quickly.
Can't
The
see the
beloved
fox ears
McRib
are-
sandwich
Refresh,
had a long
Kelvin.
journey from creation
Refresh.
to consumption. Today we'll dive deeper into the weird history of the McRib. But before we do, be sure to click on the subscribe
sloppy,
button below
missing
and let us know
Bergeron.
in the
Can't see
comments
any
what
reason
other
to play in
odd
the last
food
game of the
histories
regular
you would
season.
like to hear
I
about
have
next.
no idea what you're talking
Do we
about.
hear your mouths
I have no
watering?
idea what you're talking about
Grilled
either, but
pork and
Bergeron
that
does not.
sassy sauce. McRib. Chomp.
Y'all
chomp,
talking about like
chomp.
fucking... Is that... What season is it?
In
Is
the
it baseball
1970s,
season?
the American public became all weird to red
Is
meat
it baseball
after the
season?
feds stepped
Football
in and
season's in the
cautioned
fall,
against eating
right?
large quantities of delicious cholesterol-filled
I don't know when
fast
soccer
food
season
beef.
is.
Wendy's and Burger King managed to
NHL.
offer
Okay, I never would've
alternatives
guessed
to the
hockey.
yummy cow. But McDonald's fish dish, the Filet-O-Fish,
Okay,
wasn't
I
exactly a huge catch. How can you not love square fish in tartar sauce?
I think
The company
I could
sought out
just
to find a
save
beef
this
alternative, and while
call
most
it.
would think chicken
Baseball
as the
just
most
started?
obvious next
Got
step,
it.
McDonald's crossed a
I
different
only
road.
know football
The National
because I
Pork
used to film
Producers
football
Council
a
comes
long
into this
time
story
ago.
when they partnered with McDonald's to produce the other white meat, pork.
That pig is so scary looking.
In the late 1960s and early 70s, McDonald's and the United States military both had a meat budgeting
Bro, I cannot
crisis.
imagine
To
seeing a
solve that
McDonald's
problem,
that looks
both
like
military
that.
brass and Mayor McCheese
Pork
turned
is
to
white
the
meat?
not
Yeah,
scary at all
it's the other
sounding
white meat.
animal scientists to remove the
That's like the whole
expensive
slogan
out
for
of the
pork.
expensive edible meat. This equation used restructured meat,
Okay,
which was
now
an
I
invention of
am
animal
gonna go
scientist
back
Roger
to
Mandigo.
my
After nearly a
iPad.
decade of trial and error, in which the errors are
Do I
best not to think about,
wanna-
Mandigo found a way to use cheaper
wanna go
cuts of
straight
meat.
to fan art, or do I wanna
Adorably,
do
they
any
were labeled
emotes?
trimmings, but in reality, these trimmings
Next to
included
doubt,
skin, hearts,
there's
and
no-
stomachs.
there's- no, it
Normally viewed
literally-
in
have you
American
ever
culture as
eaten pork
throwaway
before?
organs, and not
Literally
as food.
just to
They
look at
reduced
it.
the size of the rejected
Yeah,
meat
Simply
using a
look at it.
mechanical process called comminution. This process would
This like
flake,
some
chunk,
weird
grind,
American.
chop, or slice the
Literally
waste
look
items
at
into
pork,
uniform
Kelvin. Go
pieces
buy
that
some
allow them
pork
to be
chops.
engineered into a
Kelvin,
uniform
for once
After
you're
that,
fucking
the
right
inclusion of
about
salt and
looking at
water would
something,
trigger
Kelvin, go like
extraction of
look at pork.
proteins that allowed the meats to adhere
Literally,
together and become one
isn't
big,
pork the
happy,
worst
meaty
meat
slab.
for your health?
Though this
I'm
sounds like
pretty
not
sure
ideal
it's
food,
decent.
it's
I think
perfectly
white
safe
meat in
to
general
eat, and this
is more
technique
healthy
changed
than
the
red
game
meat.
for many meat products, including military
Generally
MREs, meals
speaking.
ready to eat, and frozen chicken nuggets. some even shaped like little dinosaurs.
Red meat is bad.
This
That won't
process
stop me
was
eating
so
a lot of red meat, but
revolutionary,
yeah,
it was
I know
inducted
pork and
into the
chicken
Meat
are
Industry
like
Hall of
good.
Fame, which exists, and I want
Pork
to go
isn't
there.
great. That was at least, yeah, better than beef.
2 people contributed to the success of the McRib. Assuming the millions of humans who purchased and consumed one are to be ignored. Roger Mandigo, our food Dr. Frankenstein from earlier, who
WHL
created
teams in round
boneless
2. Oh,
pork
that's
from
right, I remember you
scratch,
talked about going
since
to
most
the
pigs found
WHL
in
game a
nature
while back.
have bones, and gourmet chef Rene Arend,
Many
who made
nutritionists
that
reject the
science
labeling of
experiment
pork
a
as white meat.
craveable,
Okay.
edible sandwich.
Have you looked at
Chef
pork, though?
Arend was first in his class at the College
Also
Technique
define,
and
also
the head
define
chef
many.
of the
Is this
fancy
like a
Chicago
9 out of 10
restaurant Whitehall
dentists
Club,
thing?
before
Like,
being recruited over to the
It's
Golden
just like
Arches
a
by Ray
wonder.
Kroc himself.
did you just
His
find
mission,
like the
research
10th
and
dentist
develop
who is
for the
like,
fast food
actually, you
empire.
should drill holes in
Today,
your
that would
teeth?
be like if celebrity chef Jose Andres were to suddenly start hawking Taco Bell's Doritos
A simple
Loco
Google
Taco.
search shows
McDonald's
pork is
felt their
red
new
meat.
lab-created meat, but still real
Classified
meat,
a
needed
red
its
meat
own
because
PR
it
spin
contains
to
more
get people on
myoglobin than
board.
chicken or fish.
But I mean, who
Hold up.
can't get on board with a smushed meatish part party smothered in barbecue sauce? I'm on board.
Oh, by the USDA. No, Kelvin's
Arend's
right.
legacy at McDonald's goes beyond
So
the
it's
McRib. His
classified by its
contributions to our fast
contents?
food history can't be understated. For starters, he developed the legendary
Interesting.
original 3 McDonald's dipping sauces.
Culinary
That's
tradition.
fucking
Barbecue,
weird.
Pork
hot
is white
mustard,
meat.
and
It is
sweet and sour.
scientifically red meat.
Legend.
So,
Hard to imagine eating a
cooks
chicken
will call
McNugget
it
without
white
that
meat,
tiny vat
but
of sweet and
scientists
sour
will call it
sauce,
red,
and then slowly.
basically.
Anyone with eyes
by
will call
light
it white.
minutes later when it's
Because
gone.
it is.
He's also the man responsible for assuring the public that they were eating ribs by designing the restructured
Yes,
meat
I guess
patty
it-
to
it
be in the
kinda
shape
depends
of
on
a
who
rack
you
of
ask.
ribs. Because
And me
it's much
trying
more
to gaslight
acceptable
me,
to
well,
eat a
I'm
rack
not a
of ribs
scientist.
between 2
I
pieces of
cook.
bread as a meal
Cooks
than
call
it
it
would
white
be for a
meat,
regular
scientists call it red.
non-rib-shaped patty. If Mandigo had his
Only
way,
American
it would have been a pork
cools
chop.
probably call
But
it white
Arend,
meat.
Arend thought
I
outside
feel like
the
I
box.
should
A
be
real
calling it
master
red
of
out
his
of
craft,
spite,
he knew the correct
but no,
conduit to
fuck you,
communicate
it's
the
white.
sweet and
According to
smoky southern
Wikipedia, most
barbecue
cuts of
profile
pork
he was aiming
are
for.
red meat,
He
while some are
completed his
white.
magnum opus with the addition of pickles,
Cox.
sliced
That's
white
fucking
onions,
weird.
additional barbecue sauce, all sandwiched in a French roll.
Nowhere else have I
Genius.
called it. have I
Arend and
heard people
Mandigo
call
had
it
done
white
their
meat.
part and
Hello, I
created
am
a
an
dish
American
worthy
fool.
of a
It's
spooky
probably a
clown.
marketing thing.
After that, the question
Honestly, it's
became,
probably a
would the
marketing
public
thing
get on
that
board?
just
Yeah.
became like public opinion.
It also
Arend
is
and Mandigo's
white.
baby, a McRib
I mean, yeah,
sandwich,
like,
was shot
as
out to
far as,
various
like-
McDonald's locations in 1981.
As far as like how
With
it
bated
looks,
breath,
it
the
is
food
white meat.
scientist and the fine dining
Like, it is
chef
literally
waited to see how the public would
white
react to their
colored
scientific
meat.
food creation.
Yeah.
Would there be
That's what I'm
overturned
going
cars in
with.
the parking lots of McDonald's as patrons took to the streets in protest of this horrid culinary beast?
Okay,
Or would there be
let's
barbecue
bring the
tears
iPad
of sticky
back.
joy oozing down their
Quit
faces
being
with lines
racist
circling
towards
around
me.
blocks with a chance to get a taste
Oh,
of
Jesus,
sweet,
Kelvin.
sweet Frankenmeat?
Kelvin.
Kelvin
Nope,
has
there was
never
no
cooked in
riots or
his
deaths.
life.
The McRib entered into our cultural
The
zeitgeist
only
to
thing
mostly
I'm
tepid applause.
racist towards
However,
is Millennia Blade of
was a
Mikola.
huge success, especially in the Midwest, where not many of those
Okay, what am I gonna
patriots
draw,
say
though?
no to meat.
Fuck. There is an emote
After
I
the
maybe
uneventful
wanted to
McRib's
read.
rollout in
Lightsaber
1981,
What'd you say this was again?
penis
McDonald's chugged the McRib along, serving their slab sandwich for 4 years before suddenly removing it in 1985. The barbecue
That's not an
hot
emote
sauce
suggestion.
thickens. Whether this was due to poor sales numbers,
Lightsaber
increases in the
penis
cost
blast
of
is
pork
not an
meat
emote
trimmings, or a
suggestion.
marketing ploy to create a demand due
Okay,
to lack
so I
of
had
supply,
like
is
4 that I
undetermined.
wanted to try making.
Whatever it was, the masses were not happy.
I love the McRib. We'll start with some emotes.
And
I
as
love this
humans,
guy.
we often
I
want
love
what
the
we can't
McRib.
have. With the
I know
McRib
we
no
watched this one
longer
on
an
stream 'cause I
option
remember
for
talking about that guy
pork-hungry
before.
patrons, those poor patrons
The
were
fucking I love the
particularly
McRib
unhappy.
guy.
I want the McRib.
Hearing the rumbling of millions of hungry tummies,
Whenever I think of like
McDonald's
people
threw
we've
the
seen in
McRib
these
back onto
videos,
the
I
menu
just
for a
think of
limited
Obama.
time,
I'm sorry, that's the
distinguishing
only
itself as
person
the
I
first
remember from
limited
these
run
videos.
fast food menu item.
Yeah, we gotta
The
watch
return of the McRib
the
caused a spike
fucking
in the pork and
Whopper
hog
video
God bless
again, so we
Israel.
can
as
see
it does
the.
most of the time when McDonald's
Here's your
rolls
Whopper,
out its
Mr.
popular meaty
President.
treat.
Mm,
The
God
mutual
bless
interests of
America.
The National Pork Producers Council
Hold on a
No,
second,
God
I'm
bless
gonna
Ukraine.
resulted in a happy marriage between
No,
the
wait,
two.
I got it wrong again. Where was it? It was God bless Iran, wasn't it? It was like God bless.
The
Where
McRib
was
and
it?
McDonald's
God bless
will
Iran.
they
I think
or
it was
won't
Israel.
they, here
Also,
we
God
what did I
bless-
miss
yeah,
in
it
the
was
last
Israel, it was
20
Israel.
seconds? I was
Like a
unfluffing.
marketing
He's like,
ploy,
God
but it
bless
was really
Israel.
out of necessity. The manufactured
was
pork
putting
delicacy
my
made another
fluff
comeback in 1989,
behind
and
my
this beefy
headphones
beauty
instead of
was a
in
bona
front.
fide boomer
Truest Essence
nationwide.
of America?
But
They're
a
definitely
shaken
paid
public
actors.
trust
Nah,
found
Kelvin,
itself
you don't know.
uncomfortable with the idea of
You
driving
don't
through the
know.
local McDonald's for a barbecue snack
Redneck man
and
in
it
the
not
middle of
being
nowhere
there.
crying about not
After
having
all,
his pork
the item was
product.
pulled and
Honestly,
reintroduced from the menu several
I
times
respect
for
that.
5
I respect
years.
that
It
more
was
than
perceived
what
to be
a
random,
lot of
possibly on
redneck
the
men
whims
in the
of
middle of
shadowy
nowhere cry
Ronald
about.
McDonald.
Yeah.
Goddamn clown.
It's like
valid.
the most
But unlike
valid
the
thing that a
hamburger,
redneck
Ronald
man in the
wasn't
middle of
trying to pull
nowhere
a
can
fast
cry
one over
about.
on the American people. The price of pork is in constant flux, and sometimes it doesn't make economical sense.
Then again,
to
I saw the
continue
Mulan
serving the
McDonald
restructured
Chef
pork meat
Szechuan
due to
sauce
rising
debacle.
costs.
We don't talk
Others,
about that.
let's call
The
them
what?
McRib
We don't talk about that
truthers,
ever.
denied
Okay?
that the
Don't
removal
don't
of
make
the
me talk
precious
about
succulent
that.
What do you mean there
Frankenwich
was
due
a
to costs,
second
and believe
McDonald's
McDonald's was
Szechuan
guilty
sauce
of
debacle?
arbitrage.
That's
We're only selling the
profoundly,
meat when the prices were at their
profoundly
lowest to make money off
embarrassing.
both the raw product and the
Don't
completed
make me talk
sandwich at
about
the
that.
same time. That's those
So
same
tell me you're
people
one
that
of them.
shape the
No!
urges and get ready to be very
Of course I
disappointed
wasn't.
by their responses.
I was just alive at the time, and
In
like,
1994, McDonald's was done
very
playing games with
embarrassed by
America's
what was
partially
happening.
clogged hearts. They
Like,
finally pulled the trigger and put a ring
I
on
was
the
like,
McRib,
I'm curious
making
about
it a
it.
year-round
I
fast
wouldn't
food
mind trying
staple.
it, but when I
Though,
saw the
as love
links that
stories
people
often
went
go,
to, I wonder
it
if there's
took-
like a deep dive on that. Yo, hold up. Is there like a Frederick Knudsen like down the rabbit hole?
I feel like there
Please.
has to be. I've actually been watching a little more.
Down the rabbit hole. Oh, come on.
Um,
Here, I'm just gonna search McDonald's Szechuan sauce. Deep dive. Can I get like a documentary? Untold Truth. Come on, give me like a 20-minute video. This is the one time I could just put on a 20-minute video. Oh, there's Report of the Week.
See, usually I tend to look for documentaries that are like an hour, so I don't have to like stop in the middle of a boss fight and go change them.
I forgot about this fucking I forgot about this thumbnail where they call it the McBust Deluxe. Girl who sold her car. Don't. That's why I said don't.
Oh
fucking.
god.
Don't make me think about that, dude. Documentary. Oh yeah, and there's a commercial for it here. We'll do that and that, and and then we'll queue up the Whopper one.
It's swapping time, and then he whopped all over those guys.
We might go ahead and take our 5-minute break. We might. I want to pull up something new though. We watched the Whopper. We'll watch the Whopper one because we love the Whopper, but I want to find something new we haven't watched. If anyone wants to put anything in media share to put on after Whopper,
I know I've been listening to a lot of like
I'll find a Frederick Knudsen
weird
video.
30-minute reviews of like shitty movies or shitty books.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'll have to like see if I can find any of those. I also like I think about a month ago at this point listened to a 2-hour documentary on where the Roblox oof noise came from.
God damn.
That was actually really interesting.
Also, Frederick Knudsen is a VTuber, by the way.
Huh. Wait, hold on. Am I just going to fucking promote the Skeleton Cult?
God, there's the
Maybe.
Final Fantasy
You know, they've
House
got some
one.
good shit for this.
Christian
I'm just
trying to
remember, they're fucking...
The Austrian wine poisoning. Okay, that sounds fun. We'll put that on.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Yes, the quest to build a giant penis. Okay.
Ayo.
I will send that one to you. Or I'll just put it in media share.
Give Kid a hat. Let me sell her. Hi, Val.
Hi, Val.
We are probably about to take a 5-minute break, but welcome. I hope you'll stick around after the break for some educational food videos and some emote drawing, and possibly some fan art. I want to do some fan art later tonight, if we have time. But yeah, welcome. I hope you had a good day today, and I hope rental search stuff is going well. we need an emote of the cat jumping up and down, the high val cat. But all right, so here I'm gonna go ahead and kick on that break just so everybody can get up and stretch. I need to take a bathroom break anyway, so yeah, we'll do that. Went better? You're happy with one of the places? Hell yeah! I hope they get back to you, cause I know that shit is arduous as fuck, to get people to like not just go, ooh, we went with someone else, especially when you got pets. I know it's a fucking pain in the ass. Anyway, yeah, we'll take our break real quick. Everybody just take this opportunity to get up, stretch, and take a bathroom break, get some food, get some water, get whatever you need. Don't get blood clots, and we'll be back in a few.
Oh, yeah.
I thought y'all were talking about fucking super cursed shit in here, but I see you're just talking about Tob. But then again, there's not a big boundary between the two. A lot of stuff Tob does is pretty fucking cursed. I love Tob. Her energy. Tob has very cursed energy. No, I came in and the first thing that I saw y'all talking about was Nikocado, and I was like, no, please, not again. Not again, I can't go back. When, when I watched Snuffy's subathon, she put on like this long documentary about Nikocado while she was asleep. And it was the worst thing ever. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. But yeah, I think I found Tob through an Aethel raid, because I know, yeah, they were pretty, like, good buddies. I mean, I'm sure they are still good buddies, but they were good buddies when Aethel was in Japan, so he raided over to her. And I found her through that. They're so cursed. Hold on, I have to show you guys a thing now. I was inspired to make a very short, shitty meme edit after, after that event. So let me see if I could find it. What did I fucking name this thing? Let me see. No. Is this it? No, it would have been right around here, though. Here it is. Okay. Hold on. Is this it? I think this is the final version. Yeah, okay. This is the final version. Let me scroll up. Why does this fucking chat window not let me scroll up, dude? The worst. Give Kit the last hat I paid for? Oh shit, hold on. Alright, I got you. Gotta watch the Chris Chan documentary? You can't fucking make me. You can't make me watch any more cursed documentaries. Alright, let me see. What is this? He's just a funny little guy. I'm just gonna name him Funny Little Guy. Alright. I'm sorry for the no BGM right now. I promise I'm gonna put something on in just a sec.
Thank you, Discord, for crashing again. And no, I was gonna say there is a non-zero chance that I might watch that while I'm fighting Melania at some point, because I need something on in the background.
Here, give me 1 second. Alright, I'm gonna get into my corner. Discord crashing for y'all too? I think it's been okay for me. I know it's been happening more for Kit lately, though. It's giving me so much trouble earlier.
Yeah, just like occasionally randomly crashes when I'm in call.
I don't know if I have the latest update, so I don't know if it was like that.
I don't know if I have. I don't. I definitely don't, because it says update ready in the top corner.
I watched till episode 10 before it got too uncomfortable. You could not make me watch. Oops, I don't want to share. I do not want to share my... I'm going to go to studio mode to do this, because I don't want to share my entire Discord. Luckily, that was just the channel, so it wasn't anything not safe for work, but...
God.
Let's see. Let's go to studio mode. Time to clip. Kelvin, you're on thin ice, dude. Occasionally, like, I get most of the time you're just reverse psychologying shit, but occasionally I've had to bop you because you actually cursed. You actually clipped like shit that doxed me, and I was like, okay, don't do that. But let's see. Window capture. There is one time when I said, like, don't fucking clip that, and I didn't mean, like, ooh, oopsies, clippers, I shit myself, don't clip that. No, it was like, that showed my location, do not clip that. Yeah, there was, like, one time a while ago where I timed you out, and that was why. I know you didn't mean it, but it was like, dude, don't do that. I need to also, like, I do need to be clearer when I'm like, hey, seriously, don't clip that. Because I know it can be confusing between, like, a oopsie, like, you know. But no, don't worry. This time it showed the Discord, but it just showed like our Discord, which you can find here. Nah, you're good, dude. I know you didn't mean it. But for now, where is this? Here it is. All right, VOC. And let me put that. Let's put that there. Kelvin bonk. No, like I said, I know it wasn't like on purpose, but and like I said, it was partly me because there like every day you'll have like, no, don't clip that. Oh no, oh no. And I'm like, no, you can clip that. Like it's funny. There's like incriminating like clipping, and then like, no, seriously, that's bad. And being clear about which of those it is important. And that's something you have to learn as a streamer too, is to like be clear with people which one you're talking about. Okay, here we go. Kit, I'm gonna screen. Do you want to see this? I could probably just.
What is it?
It's just like a short. It's a short thing that I made a while ago.
I think I've already seen it. Yeah. You don't have to Discord.
Yeah, I probably sent it. All right, so I'm not gonna bother screen sharing that. So, this is a thing that I made at the end of the Snuffy subathon, when she fucking wait. Oh, wait. Does OBS not fucking show VOC? I forgot if that was like a fucking thing. God damn it, VOC. I fucking hate that they do that. They I think they do the same thing for Discord, so you can't share movies as easily. That's such horse shit, dude. That's so fucking stupid. Hold on, I'm gonna get around it. I'm not even showing a fucking movie. I'm just showing a stupid little thing I made. Oh wait, I could just do a media source. Never mind, I could just do a media source. I don't even have to do a fucking window capture. I could just do a media source. Let's see. Now I have to find it again. There it is. And boop. And then boop. And where did it put that? Why did it make it tiny? Huh? Bro, I literally just want to show an MP4 on my stream. It's not that complicated. It is truly not that complicated.
It's a little complicated. Metroid Prime 4 isn't even out yet.
Watching regardless, guys,
wait, okay,
and I'm the right opinion.
Fuck you, that was a good one.
Alright, so I've got to turn the volume on.
Watching regardless, guys.
Why is it?
And I'm the right.
Oh wait, oh sorry, I'm sorry. I just realized I have to turn the volume on for me too. Okay, sorry, I forgot. I had to do monitor. No BGM to distract my brain while I wait. I'm sorry. Yeah, if I knew it was gonna take me this long to figure out, I would have put on some BGM. I'm sorry for all the dead air. I'm a cringe bad streamer. Media source 2, monitor, and actually I just monitor only because I've got desktop volume as well. Okay, this is the thing I made. It's not worth it. It's not worth the amount of time I put in trying to get it to work. But I'm committed now. I made this after we watched the fucking Nikocado documentary that Snuffy put on all night long while she slept. And it ended, and then she came back right after it ended.
Regardless, guys, and I'm the right opinion, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey, Sadie, come on, we gotta open up.
There. Was that worth it? No, it wasn't. But that is how everyone in chat felt. Alright, I'm gonna actually put this back on now. 10 out of 10 Oscar worthy, thank you. Yeah, we were all pretty much scarred after that. Oh, also Emmy. Oh, wait, let me see. What is this? Oh, it's the hi Val emote. Thank you, Val. Hold on, I'll add it right now. Hi, Val. Cat jump. It's excited. Alright, did it actually, Did it actually work? I don't think it worked. Hold on. Okay, no, it did work. Alright, excited. I don't think I can... Let me refresh my... I know I can refresh the browser source. I don't think I can refresh my stream chat, though. But I can refresh that. Boop. 7TV is on mobile? Wait, what? Wait. Huh? Also, wait, let me look. Boop. Yay. Okay, good, that works. There's links to apps. Oh shit, I should get it for mobile or for mobile Twitch. Not that I try to avoid using mobile Twitch. Anyway,
Yeah,
alright.
I was gonna say, I cannot fucking fathom watching streams on mobile.
Val, excited. Yeah, literally, like, hold on. Hi, Val, excited. Have to use something other than the native Twitch app? I'm sure there's better ones, right? I've gotta explore my options. All right, so this is we are gonna watch some stuff on on the fucking Mulan sauce, and then other stuff.
Which one was the Obama one in? 'Cause I think you mentioned.
It's the Whopper one. We've got it queued up.
Okay, good. Good. We have to experience Obama.
Yeah, absolutely.
I won't become Obama. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Val, it's the Szechuan sauce commercial.
Cheesesteak, get 6 pieces for 99 cents. Or 20 pieces for $3.29. And please hurry, or Don Boy over here may never stop.
Photo. Get our little emote template.
How did a raunchy cartoon about aliens and time travel convince McDonald's to re-release a promotional sauce from 20 years earlier? And why did someone trade a car for a
no
single
way,
container
30
of
piece
this infamous
nuggets
dipping
for
sauce?
$3.29. We're
McDonald's
living
first released
in
its
like
Szechuan
the
sauce
dark
for the
ages of
1998
fast food.
premiere
Everything
of
is so
Disney's
fucking
Mulan.
expensive,
Based on a
dude.
Chinese legend, the film tells the story of a young
I
woman
wish
who
I could get a
disguises
shit
herself as
ton
a
of
man
nuggets
to
for
replace
$3.
her father in a battle against the invading
Heat
Huns. The
motherfucker.
promotional tie-in was a limited time offer.
No,
that
you
came as a
you
part
don't
of the
need
Chicken
blood for
McNuggets Happy
McNuggets.
Meal,
Don't
which
worry.
also included Mulan toys. The release of Szechuan sauce was a part of a strategic partnership between Disney and McDonald's. Earlier the same year, McDonald's sponsored a part of the newly opened Disney's Animal Kingdom. The franchise also had kiosks in various Disney parks across the U.S. The campaign only lasted between June 17th, 2 days before Mulan was released, and July 2nd, when it was promptly replaced by
At the Red
promotions for
Robin
another
tonight?
Disney creation, Armageddon.
It's cheaper than the Taco Bell
While
order I
Mulan
had the
ended up
night
stealing
before.
the hearts of children
Fucked up,
across
dude.
America
That's like
and bringing in
sacrilegious.
$54.2 million in the
Actually
first 2
fucked.
weeks after release, McDonald's Szechuan sauce attracted its fair share of controversy. In particular, the sauce was heavily criticized for its advertising campaign, which many called out for being
course it
racist.
was.
Yasmin Tayab wrote for Inverse, "The last thing Asian Americans need is a sauce to obscure the diversity of their cultures in the same shade of faceless, nationless, Western-approved brown."
Off my
Equally
ass,
disheartened,
Melania.
The publisher of A Magazine, Jeff Yang, called the Szechuan sauce campaign the equivalent of a drive-by mooning. So, what parts of the advertising campaign were found to be so problematic? Sana Chang from Entertainment Weekly zeroed in on what she believes to be ethnic stereotyping, such as a headband-wearing Ronald McDonald
Also, I wish I had a Red
karate
Robin
moves.
near me. Red Robin is so good.
According to a McDonald's press release, Szechuan sauce has a savory and slightly sweet taste profile, with hints of soy, garlic, ginger, and mild vinegar notes. While the condiment's name implies that it's inspired by
Smug,
Szechuan
blush,
cuisine, many have
noted,
questioned this
and
culinary
thinking
connection.
are the ones I really
Szechuan,
wanna
which is
do.
one of China's
Gotta
34
register for classes at
provinces, has a
6:30
culinary
a.m.
tradition characterized by hot peppers
So gotta
and
go to
heavy
bed.
spice
Have
usage.
good bed,
So how
Jambro,
does
and
the
good luck
Szechuan
getting the
sauce measure up
classes.
to the real thing? Tom
I
Ryan,
remember that.
former
It's not
SVP
fun.
of menu management at McDonald's, told Mike, "Remember, it had to be
Bed
relevant for
excited.
kids, so you couldn't do anything spicy, even though the name
Yeah,
was
have
Szechuan."
good night, Jambro, and
Perhaps
have good
this
morning,
explains why
Jambro.
Michael Walsh, who reviewed
Had
the
an
sauce
app
for
and a
Nerdist,
big
never
ass
mentioned
beer
any hints of spice,
with my and my
instead
wife's
noting
burger,
that it
and
had
it
a
was
pleasing
cheaper than
balance
Taco
between
Bell.
salty
That's
and
so
sweet, with a
fucked, but
significant hint
also
of ginger.
give me Red Robin.
After its brief release in 1998, Szechuan sauce went off the radar for almost 2 decades. However, the condiment experienced a revival after it was mentioned on Adult Swim's animated sci-fi satire Rick and Morty on
do
April
another
Fool's
one
Day
with, like, big
2017.
eyes.
The premiere
Like-
episode of season 3 saw main character Rick rambling about his penchant for the condiment.
In 1998, they had this promotion for the Disney film Mulan, where they they created a new sauce for the McNuggets called Szechuan sauce, and it's delicious.
In no time, the geeky gag had fans of the show begging McDonald's to re-release the nugget sauce. Whether out of sense of nostalgia or curiosity, a Change.org petition to bring back the condiment attracted more than 45,000 signatures. Viewers also implored the franchise to re-release the sauce on social media. Spurred by the free advertising, McDonald's succumbed to the hype, bringing the sauce back to participating restaurants for one day on October 7, 2017. The October 7, 2017 re-release of McDonald's Szechuan sauce was a debacle. On the day of the condiment's release, Rick and Morty enthusiasts stormed McDonald's outlets across the country in the hope of tasting the sauce. The demand was so overwhelming that many outlets ran out of the sauce.
Kelvin, the only thing I know about the Szechuan sauce thing is the one Rick and Morty guy.
Tipping sauce, Szechuan sauce, Morty.
The huge difference between the supply and demand outraged Rick and Morty aficionados, some of whom were told that certain stores only received 20 containers of the sauce, as Thrillist reports. Some fans even staged mini riots. McDonald's was quick to respond with an apology,
the Rick and
tweeting,
Morty
"The best fans
it's
in the
only 5
multiverse
minutes.
showed us
I
what
wanted
they
a
got
longer
today.
one, but it's
We
only
hear
5
you,
minutes.
And we're sorry not everyone could get some super limited Szechuan." The fast food franchise also made a promise to release the sauce again, which happened in 2018, when 20 million packets of Szechuan sauce became available at the chain's locations across the country. The popularity and scarcity at McDonald's Szechuan sauce have driven some of the condiment's fans to shell out top dollar for just a taste. Ahead of the sauce's 2017 re-release, a fan who won a 64-ounce bottle of the condiment auctioned it, as well as a Pelican camera case, on eBay, attracting bids of over $15,000. The eBay post was not a one-off. Another packet of McDonald's Szechuan sauce, released in 1998, sold on eBay for $14,700 in 2017. The listing stated, "I just bought a really old car. While cleaning it, I found a packet of the sauce." McDonald's Szechuan sauce is currently selling on eBay
they
for
found
a
it
far
in
less
a
eye-popping
fucking old
$9.99
car.
per container, with the
That's
post
so
referring to it
fucking
as a collectible
goofy.
item. When McDonald's re-released its Szechuan sauce on October 7, 2017, 23-year-old Rachel Marie got up early and headed to her local McDonald's. However, instead of devouring the dipping sauce she purchased, Marie had other ideas. She posted a picture of the unopened sauce on Pin Nation, a Facebook group that also happened to include fans of Rick and Morty. She told Business Insider, "There was actually a large response with some nice pins, but if I could get a car, I thought, why not ask?" And so she did. It wasn't long before she was offered an early 2000s Volkswagen Golf MK4. While the transaction hadn't been verified by Business Insider, both the seller and buyer confirmed that the trade did take place. In fact, the buyer of the condiment contacted Business Insider via Facebook Messenger, telling the publication that he, quote, "just needed me some friggin' sauce."
Okay, bro.
This sauce is amazing. You said it was promoting a movie?
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
Yes.
So what I realized that Rick and Morty was getting out of hand. Yeah, I mean, every fandom that gets big enough has that moment.
Burger King is among the largest fast food burger franchises in the world. And while Burger King's menu offers chicken and fish and just about everything else you expect from a modern fast food joint, their astounding success was primarily built on the
when I am Metroid Prime from Metroid Prime after the first game.
Today, we're going to take a look at the history of the Whopper.
And save myself some fucking trouble and make sure
But
it's
before
not
we
gonna
get
trigger my
started, be
OCD
sure to
later.
subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that,
just
please leave a
simply-
comment and let us know what other iconic fast food menu item you would like to hear about. Okay, time to have a little Weird History Food your way.
Have it your way.
Like Leonard Skinner, Limp Bizkit, and Rick Dees.
Listen, come on.
The tale of Burger King begins in Jacksonville, Florida. In 1953, Florida residents Keith Kramer and Matthew Burns were inspired by the success of the original McDonald's in San Bernardino, California, and decided to start
No, Val, the only correct version of that song is
the rights to a special
the
grilling
brand
machine
new burger
called
you
the
can fuck.
Instabroiler.
Wait,
And
okay,
made
hold on.
I'll
Just
show
because
you a burger you can fuck.
Just because Val brought it up. BK is overrated as fuck? No, DK is fucking dunked on. DK gets, like, unreasonably dunked on over
Donkey Kong?
Number 15. Wait, hold on. Okay.
I still love how in the
Where's
next
Fast
Elden Ring
Vacation
summary,
Point?
fucking Freighter Reichard talks like the number 15 guy. Like down to doing that exact bit.
Number 15, Burger King
I
foot
believe-
lettuce.
I can't believe I got it first try.
The last thing you want is to join the Serpent King as family, but it turns out that might be what you get.
There you go.
A brand new burger you can fuck. This burger is better than sex. You can fuck this burger. Only at Burger King you can stick your dick in this burger. Your balls will explode, guaranteed. You can come inside, outside, and all over the new Burger King burgers. This burger will make your skin soft and your asshole tight. Our estrogenizing burgers will give you tits the size of basketballs, and that's no cap. Have it your way at Burger King, where your stupid asshole gets fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
Bro, I want the estrogenizing Burger King burgers. I want tits the size of basketballs.
My preference is not that big, but
No,
just
give
in
me
general.
tits the size of basketballs. Just fuck me up, fam. I fucking.
I mean, you do you. I'm just commenting on like myself. Anyway, I was just gonna say, every time I hear that, I just think of the one Ultra Kill review. That's just me having sex for the first time. Wow, this is just like Ultra Kill.
This is just like Burger King. Fun fact, I have that entire thing as a sound alert that you can play, but it's one of the few ones you have to pay for. Having to put a disclaimer that it wasn't chills. Time to go fuck that burger. Attaboy.
Which sounds more like a
Kelvin, I think that is the second time that Maxler has had to like put a disclaimer that he didn't actually like, get a guy. Because in his Ultra Kill Act 2, he had to clarify that no, he didn't get Mandalore to do Mysterious Druid Knight. Mandalore just actually voice acts Mysterious Druid Knight.
had problems with the Instabroiler. Presumably, it realized.
Speaking of that, Emmy, at some point we need to watch the like 1 hour video on Mystery of the Druids. It was fucking insane.
Edgerton eventually replaced the Instabroiler with a gas-powered grill they called the Flame Broiler. Now we're cooking again.
The brand new burger you can fuck. This burger is better than sex. You can fuck this burger. Only at Burger King you can stick your dick in this burger. Your balls will explode, guaranteed. You can come inside, outside, and all over the new Burger King burgers. This burger will make your skin soft and your asshole tight. Our estrogenizing burgers will give you tits the size of basketballs, and that's no cap. Have it your way at Burger King, where your stupid asshole gets fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
Thank you for the 300 bits, pal.
The two wandered around the neighborhood in search of restaurants that were doing a greater volume of sales, hoping they could pick up a few.
Holy shit! I've never had someone like pop it on me before.
Large burgers with full garnish.
I looked up the street and there was a restaurant.
Absolutely fucking legendary.
It was called
God.
There were 2 ladies.
What if we were both girls and I fucked your burger?
Big hamburger.
I would probably have some issues with that.
Understandable.
The two went to work and within days had created the Whopper. The burger debuted later that year at a location in Miami.
Yeah, that
and the
was
rest, as they
that
say,
was fucking
is weird
something.
history. Okay, so a giant burger probably doesn't sound so
I
revolutionary.
mean, yeah, it was fucking something. The burger.
It was fucking that burger.
An arms race to see who can harden the most arteries with a single sandwich. But at the time, McDonald's wasn't selling anything like it. The Big Mac wouldn't be introduced until over a decade later in 1968, and the Quarter Pounder, or Royale with cheese as they call it in France, didn't show up until 1972. All Macklemore's giant burger needed was a name that would make its whopping size clear to the public.
Call it a Whopper because that means big.
I love that every time. It's like, I call it a Whopper because that means big.
Home of the Whopper to indicate that we want to be a
God.
They could have gone with something like giant meat disc or the King's beef.
Oh, Kelvin, I absolutely do.
Sometimes it's best to keep things simple.
I know, like 100% someone just fucked a
The
Burger King
Whopper
burger.
originally cost 37 cents. which in
Your heart,
1957
someone,
was
yeah,
the
someone
equivalent
somewhere
of about
has.
$3.73
Probably at a
in
convention
2022
somewhere.
money. So it's
See,
not
I
a
have
cheap sandwich.
no. See, I
The
have
allure
to
of the
wonder how
Whopper
that would
is
actually
its
feel
ginormous
because I feel it can't be that good.
For the record,
This is
the
how
price of
Kit
a Whopper
like
today
starts on
varies
her
depending
path
on
of
the
actually
meat you
going to
buy,
fuck a
but
Burger
generally
King
costs
burger.
somewhere in the neighborhood
I'm
of
not
$4
fucking a
in
Burger King
19
burger.
cents.
I have to wonder how that would feel, and I'm going to find out one way or another.
No, Pug, the only way I can know is that there are 7.8 billion people on the fucking planet, and one of these motherfuckers is 100% running an out-fuck burger. I guarantee it. Statistically, I am correct.
The home of the Whopper
only way Kit can know 100%.
Bars, and their in-store internet service is called Whopper Wi-Fi.
Pug, I promise you. If I fucked a Burger King burger, you motherfuckers would know.
That's horrifying.
Of course, there's the Whopper Jr., a smaller version of the sandwich made for cowards to enjoy. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Other variants include, but are not limited to, the all-vegetarian Impossible Whopper, the Angry Whopper, which comes with jalapenos, angry sauce, angry onions, pepper jack cheese, and bacon. The Angriest Whopper, which took the Angry Whopper and added a red bun with hot pepper sauce baked into the roll.
That sounds
the Whopperito,
awful.
which is a burrito version of the Whopper that replaces the ketchup and mayo with queso sauce. And the 3-Meat Whopper, which contains bacon and pepperoni, in addition to the beef patty. Whew. There's also been a Bacon Whopper, Western Whopper, Cheese Whopper, King Kong Whopper, Texas Double Whopper, Carolina Barbecue Whopper, Wisconsin White Cheddar Whopper, Chicken Whopper, and Chicken Whopper Jr. Truly, there is a Whopper for all seasons and all occasions. In 2016, Burger King even tried expanding the Whopper into the world of hot dogs with the Whopper Dog. Sadly, customers didn't really take to the new product. Genius is rarely appreciated in its time. And if a Whopper hot dog sounds like a weird idea to you, then brace yourself for the dog purr. Yes. In 2018, Burger King introduced a Whopper for dogs. That's for dogs, not of dogs. We think that's a pretty important distinction. The dog
Wait, hold on, I gotta fucking do it. Hold on.
With a dash of Burger King's trademark flame
I am being stolen.
Oh my god. Camus is being stolen for the dog purr?
Was reportedly created because Burger King executives kept getting complaints from dog owners who couldn't get a moment's peace from their pooch after having a Whopper delivered. Also, imagine opting for the name Dog Purr when Whop Pupper was right there. Someone really dropped
I don't
the
know
ball
if I
on
like
that
this, like, super zoomed in, though.
I'm going to show you how McDonald's builds a Big Mac sandwich.
In 1967, McDonald's debuted the Big Mac in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The burger, which would be made available nationally the following year, is often perceived to be Mickey D's answer to the Whopper, but originally it was designed to compete with hamburgers from Bob's Big Boy. We made a whole other episode about it.
Alright.
Check it out for a well-rounded burger education.
Hey, I was in that ad. Wait, huh? Oh, the dog purr ad?
Despite the fact that they were not designed to be enemies, the Whopper and the Big Mac rival each other like the Autobots and the Decepticons. A comparison of these two mighty sandwiches is definitely in order.
I would have waited an eternity for this.
For starters, they do not have the same ingredients. A Whopper is a flame-grilled beef patty, ketchup, mayo, lettuce, tomato, pickles, and sliced onions on a sesame seed bun. The Big Mac, as anyone who remembers the famous jingle can tell you, is 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. The differences are subtle. The Big Mac comes with cheese, but no tomato. The Whopper comes with tomato, but no cheese. The Big Mac also boasts an additional patty, although the patty that comes on a Whopper is substantially larger than the ones that come on a Big Mac. To make up for this deficiency, the Big Mac throws an extra bun in the middle. So, who's winning the rivalry? Well, according to McDonald's, they sell roughly 900 million Big Macs
no
a year,
fucking
while
kidding,
Burger
dude.
King claims to sell 1.1
yeah, McDonald's
billion
advertising
Whoppers a year.
really,
Unfortunately,
like,
that number
is
difficult,
really
if
generous.
Not outright impossible to verify. So we're just going to have to take Burger King's word for it. And even if Whoppers really do outsell Big Macs, McDonald's is the much larger chain and has a higher level of overall sales across their whole product line. The Golden Arches may not be slinging as many Big Macs, but they're still moving significantly more burgers out the door. Sorry, King. Burger King may sell a lot of Whoppers, but all is not always well in the kingdom. In 2017, 4 customers sued the company for false advertising.
This part always
claiming
gets
that
me.
Burger King was marketing the Whopper with pictures that made it appear
some of these lawsuits are goofy, but some of them I'm like, Burger King, what the fuck are you doing?
Sued because the Whopper wasn't big enough. The plaintiffs, who were seeking monetary damages for anyone
Okay, we have to
deceived
watch
by Burger King's
15
advertising,
straight Subway.
alleged that marketing images of the
God.
Whopper had grown larger, even though the recipe or the amount of beef or ingredients contained in Burger King's Whopper has never changed. It wasn't the first or last controversy in which Burger King would become flame embroiled. For example, just a year later, the company would find itself taking heat over an ad encouraging Russian women to become impregnated by
This
football
one!
players
This
competing
one!
in the World Cup. Yep, you heard that one correctly. And no, we're not making that up. The company offered a lifetime supply of Whoppers and 3 million rubles, or roughly $63,000, to any woman who would help ensure the future of the Russian football team. It did not go over so well.
That's
and the
so
company found itself
fucking
quickly
weird,
issuing a public
dude.
apology.
That's so
Well, then there was
fucking
the time that
weird.
Burger King tried to turn friends against each other
This
with
is the one you were
so-called
talking about,
Whopper
Pug.
sacrifice. This marketing campaign saw the company offering a coupon for a free Whopper to anyone who would delete 10 Facebook friends. Roughly 60,000 people installed the unfriending application. Over 200,000 friends were deleted, and right around 20,000
The
Whopper
Whopper
coupons were delivered.
sacrifice.
Honestly, they could bring that promotion back. Everybody has at least 10 Facebook friends they could lose. To literally add insult to injury, the app sent a message to the deleted friends making it clear that their former pal had sacrificed them for a single burger. It was
That's so
undeniably
fucking
mean-spirited
goofy.
and undeniably awesome. Then there was the Impossible Whopper fiasco. In 2019, Burger King decided to make a Whopper that would cater to vegetarians, or people looking to eat a slightly healthier fast food mega burger.
No beef.
I've never had plant taste like beef before.
Tastes like a Whopper.
In fact, BK was the first major fast food chain to offer the plant-based meatless patty from the Impossible Foods Company. It was a good idea,
Yeah, the
except
Impossible
for
Whopper
one
is
small problem.
good, but yeah, the
Unless
fact that
ordered
they
with
like
modifications, the Impossible
you
Whopper
gotta
wasn't
if you're
technically
gonna prepare vegetarian products,
The
you gotta
burger was
prepare it
actually
on
made
like
with
an
eggs and mayo,
isolated
and it
grill.
often became
Yeah.
contaminated with leftover bits of chicken or beef from the grill. His Royal
Especially when
Highness
you
the
consider
burgers
like
got
it's
a
not just
harsh
for
review from
vegetarians,
the
it's people
vegetarians.
for like
But in
who are
his defense,
vegetarian
the
for
issue
food
seems to have been
allergy
corrected.
reasons.
The Impossible Whopper has since been called one of the best vegan fast food menu options at any fast food chain, at least by one vegan option guide. And we'd be remiss not to mention the Pride Whopper. In 2022, Burger King Austria made a play to support LGBTQ communities by releasing what it called the Pride Whopper. The sandwich was served in a pride flag wrapper containing the message, "We are all the same inside," and was basically the exact same thing as a regular Whopper, except that it was made with either 2 bottom or 2 top buns. The 2 identical
This is
buns
such
were
a like
allegedly meant to represent
bad
2
fucking
equal
idea
groups
for a
to promote
promotion.
love and equal
That's
rights.
so
But
garbage.
the campaign was criticized for what some saw as using the opportunity to make a misguided joke. The agency behind the ad later issued a statement saying they had learned their lesson. And last, but certainly not least, is the Horse Whopper. Although it was never an official menu item, Burger King was forced to end a contract with one
Same as
particular
McDonald's
production
doing its fries with
facility
beef
in
fat
Europe
for a long
back in
time.
2013
Honestly, I wish I could
after
still get
trace
that as an
amounts of horse
option.
DNA were
I wish I
discovered
could
in
get
the
the fries
plant
fried
meat.
in beef
BK
tallow.
clarified that independent tests were conducted at
That sounds
restaurants
fucking
potentially
tasty.
affected by the contaminated meat, and that no horse DNA had been
I
found
kinda like
in
this.
any of their
Maybe
burgers.
I could use this
You
as
can't
a
blame the citizens of the UK
as like
if
a
they still
7TV
say
emote. I don't know if I'll
to
put it in
Whoppers.
my. I don't have any main slots anyway. I'm just
Yeah.
goofing. I'm just
For
goofing
decades,
around.
Burger King was the second most popular fast food franchise in the world,
Next, I
right
want a
behind
smug
McDonald's.
one.
And while it still
I
is
think I
popular
need to
today,
do
it
more
hasn't
zoomed
been
in
number
stuff
2
because
for
like
some
if I
time.
don't,
It's actually the
my
10th
prop has
most
always been
popular
doing them
fast food
too zoomed
franchise,
out, and I've been
having long
gradually
eclipsed by places
zooming
like
in as
Starbucks,
I've made
Wendy's,
emotes.
Subway,
You can see like if you
KFC.
compare the old
But
ones in
despite the
7TV
fall
to
from
like the
grace,
newer
there are
ones.
still nearly 7,300 Burger King locations in the U.S. alone, and the Whopper is
I
still
have
Burger
like
King's
I
most
think I have
popular
some
menu
of the
item.
old.
In fact, along with the Whopper Jr. and Impossible Whopper, Whoppers constitute 3 of Burger King's 5
Yeah, like
biggest
my first
sellers,
attempts into
which
second
makes
attempts
sense.
into
Nobody
like
goes to Burger King for their
modern
chicken nuggets.
emotes are just
Nuggets.
like gradually
The Burger King location on Newberry
zooming
Road in
in.
Gainesville, Florida, that initially set McLemore and Edgerton
Willing to
off
buy
in
horse
search of what would
Whopper?
become
Wanna
the
buy
Whopper,
horse
is
Whopper?
still there. And it's still
God.
So what do you think? Whopper or the Big Mac? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it,
What are you talking about? Obama wasn't in that one at all.
food videos.
Wait, was it the fucking Big Mac one? It might have been the Big Mac one. Oh, it was the Big Mac. My bad. Okay,
God damn it.
we gotta watch the Big Mac one.
We gotta watch Obama.
I'm sorry. I thought it was the Whopper one. I got confused. Alright, so we've got to watch this.
2 patties.
We need
3
to see
buns,
Obama,
and a
I'm sorry.
suspiciously zesty secret sauce. It is number
Hold on,
1
give me
on
one
the
second to like make sure these are queued in the right fucking order. There we go.
2
You with the
patties,
false advertising,
3
just like
buns,
BK?
and
I
a
thought you were accusing
suspiciously
McDonald's of the
zesty
false
secret
advertising.
sauce.
Get your story straight,
It
Calvin.
is number 1 on the McDonald's
Calvin is
menu,
trying to defame me.
and
I'm
number
gonna
1
sue.
in our hearts, the Big Mac. While it may be one of the most recognizable burgers in existence, McDonald's Big Mac didn't become
There we
famous
go.
overnight. The majestic menu item had to go through a corporate approval process, some
Alright,
ingredient
what I wanna do
shakeups, and a
this.
few name changes before becoming the fast food phenomenon it is today. Today, we're telling you all about the history of the sandwich
did
that
not
put the
change
Golden
back from the
Arches on the
airbrush.
map, the Big Mac. But before we chow down on some delicious hamburger history, make sure you subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. Then head to the comments and
You
tell
can
us what
fuck
other
anything if you
iconic
try
food
hard
items
enough.
you would like to hear more about.
Huh?
7 great ingredients working together to make one great taste. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, cheese, lettuce, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Get the idea?
Listen,
Okay,
give me an
let's see.
example and
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame
Kelvin,
seed bun.
Kelvin, you
Oh,
can.
yeah. I know.
Trust me.
Despite its popularity today, the Big
Now,
Mac
it may
did
not
not
end
make
well.
its way to McDonald's menu until over a
Kelvin,
decade
have you
after
ever heard
fast
of
food
sounding?
had been established.
Nailed
McDonald's had
it, a
already perfected their
cactus.
tried and true burger recipe by 1957. And they were so incredibly popular, the powers that be were reluctant to change anything about their menu. Why paint a mustache on the Mona Lisa? Those single-layer burgers continued to be the main staple in McDonald's franchises all over the country. That is, until the good steel workers of Uniontown, Pennsylvania
Alright, I'm
decided
getting
that they
closer.
wanted more bang for
I'm
their
getting
buck.
closer.
In an effort to make sure
Can't
nobody
I
left the
can't
restaurant
fuck my
hungry,
favorite
the
2D
proprietor of this
characters,
particular
Satch.
franchise
Am I your
would
favorite
embark
2D
on a new
character?
sandwich recipe that
I'm
would
sorry.
eventually
You
become
don't
the
have to
Big
answer
Mac
that.
we know and love today.
You're
Michael
my
James Jim
favorite
Delgado
2D character.
problem solved. He owned a restaurant with just one kind of burger, but his customers wanted more. No, they needed more. But this was not Jim's first time at the fast food rodeo. And if anyone
It's a
could
joke,
find
actually. I think
solution,
my favorite
it
2D
was
character
him.
is still Quadraxis
Preference
from
of fast
Metroid
food
Prime 2.
rodeo is the same as a regular
Fair.
rodeo, just with more
I'm trying to think who my
enlarged
favorite is.
cholesterol-filled hearts.
If I had to pick
After
like
serving in World War
one
II,
2D character,
Delegati
I
worked
guess-
in a bunch of drive-in restaurants.
See, I
and would
feel
eventually
like
go on to open
that
nearly
that was
50
mostly a
McDonald's
joke.
restaurants across Pennsylvania.
it's too
Despite
sweet and
running the store
nice.
successfully for a decade,
Like,
Jim
I feel like if I
started
had to
hearing
pick a
grumbles
fictional
of
character
mothers
to
and
pick, it
stomachs
would not be
alike as the
Quadraxis.
hard-working steel mill laborers would come into the heat
But
of
like
the
I've
day.
talked about how much
It seemed the rinky-dink
like Metroid
burgers
Prime 2
currently
just
being
means to me,
served
like
at McDonald's
personally.
weren't enough
You
for
can't fuck a
hungry
polar bear because
clientele.
you'll be dead.
With
You
the
need to
nearby
find a
delis and diners for
sexier and more
inspiration
consenting
on
polar
how a
bear.
heftier sandwich is
Yeah.
crafted, Jim
Like,
developed
I-
a double-decker burger that he was sure would
Yeah,
satisfy his
I
customers.
genuinely could not
But
tell you
before we
like
go
off
on
the
with
top
Jim's
of my
story,
head.
let's see where his inspiration came from.
Probably be a child character,
When
honestly.
McDonald's was first getting its footing in the restaurant game in
Like,
the 1950s,
I'm gonna be real with
they
you.
extracted both stiff competition and genuine inspiration from one of the more prominent restaurants at the time, Bob's Big Boy. Founded in 1936 in California, Bob's Big Boy had established a comfortable reputation of serving delicious food while expanding across the country. Big Boy founder Bob Wyan is believed to have created the first double-decker sandwich at the restaurant in 1937 at the request of a hungry marching band. But let's be honest, this wasn't the first double-decker sandwich. Those have existed ever since the first Hangover. The burger, eventually dubbed the Big Boy, became the foundation for the whole Bob's Big Boy establishment. And his signature double-decker sandwich did not go unnoticed by competing restaurants. The Big Boy Super Sandwich idea would eventually inspire many copycats, including Delgado, who added his own flourishes to create the McDonald's staple we know today. Creation of the world's most prominent burger didn't happen all at once. There were a few hurdles to leap over before the sandwich would become a nationwide sensation.
It's the stupidest
not
burger
very
you've made.
tall hurdles. And not running too much track.
What's
after
your
cleaning them up.
definition? Hold on. What does it need to count as a burger? Cause I've made a burger dog before. I've made a burger dog. I've made a pizza that was more burger ingredients than pizza. I I once did a double-decker, but each bread layer was a grilled cheese. That's incredibly stupid. Just the buns. I'm trying to think. I know I'm surely I've done something fucking stupid before. But I don't know. I don't know if I've done anything like profoundly stupid with burgers before.
The creation of the sandwich came with some caveats. Delegati was only able to make his super stacked sandwich using ingredients already available at McDonald's, which he did, for the most part. Using the beef from the burgers sold at McDonald's and the Bob's Big Boy as inspiration.
Can you make a pizza and put a crust on top of it to make a pizza burger? I think so. My grilled cheese Big Mac was great. That sounds terrifying, but possibly very good.
The sandwich was starting to take shape, and our mouths are starting to water just talking about it. Delegati spent some time perfecting his recipe, and by 1967, he was ready to unveil his tasty creation to his hungry customers. With the basic composition of the burger nailed down, the stage was set for the double-decker sandwich to premiere at the Southwestern Pennsylvania Burger Shop. The original release was an immediate success. Advertised as the meal disguised as a sandwich, Delegati's Mammoth Burger sold originally for only 45 cents. The sandwich sold so well in that first year that it caught the attention of McDonald's CEO Ray Kroc. By 1968, McDonald's added it to all of its stores' menus across the United States. Eventually, the popularity would extend to stores in over 100 countries all over the world. But one major question remained. What were they going to call this thing?
Big Mac's Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac. Le Big Mac.
Big Mac was not originally used for the double-decker sandwich that took the world by storm. When it was first sold in Pennsylvania, the sandwich had the moniker of Big Mick, which
go buy a pizza and fold it in half. Bingo, bango, calzone.
Never sat right with the higher-ups at McDonald's. Such a regal sandwich deserved a much flashier name, and a few duds were tried on for size. Designations such as the Aristocrat and Blue Ribbon Burger were given a trial run, but neither was able to stick for very long. The Aristocrat? Really? That reminds me of a joke.
A talent agent is sitting in his office. A family walks in.
Oh, yeah, never mind. History was made when a harried executive rushing to an advertising meeting asked a 21-year-old secretary what she would name the sandwich. Esther Glickstein Rose gave him the name Big Mac and promptly went back to her work. Though the name was laughed out of the room at the time, Big Mac eventually stuck. And while not credited or compensated with the naming at the time, Esther was formally recognized for her achievement in 1985. We hope she at least got a free sandwich out of the deal. When Delegati first created the Big Mac, he needed to distinguish it from Bob's Big Boy Burger. To do that, he added some pickles and onions.
I never draw my hair right. I just noticed.
Tangy sauce.
I never draw the spot where it switches.
A secret for decades. Speculation had been going on for years that the sauce was simple, over-the-counter, Thousand Island dressing.
Draw it
but it is not.
So it should be
as the years
like
went on, it became harder for fans to nail down the exact ingredients because the recipe kept changing. You see, Delegati had his own version of the sauce when he premiered the burger and spent years fine-tuning
when I draw it like that.
And when McDonald's officially took over the Big Mac, they made several variations of the sauce.
Even if it's like a little off.
It's just like that old saying, a successful sandwich has many fathers. In 1972, they created the cleverly named Big Mac Sauce Recipe 72, which was the standard until McDonald's changed the recipe again in 1991, only to change it once again in 2004. All the while, the recipe remained secret, never to be revealed. Not really. It turns out the sauce is simply a mixture of mayonnaise, sweet pickle relish, and yellow mustard, along with some spices. The whole process was demonstrated by executive chef Dan Kudrow in a YouTube video in 2012. But people are still so obsessed with Big Mac's secret sauce that bottles of the stuff have sold on eBay for thousands of dollars.
Are these emotes for 7TV? Pretty much, because I don't have enough slots right now.
Tangy Big Mac sauce. The Big Mac has evolved quite a bit from its humble beginnings as a heftier snack for hungry workers. Not only is it sold in over 120 countries and territories worldwide, but the U.S. alone sells over 500 million Big Macs every single year. Even if you have never eaten a Big Mac in your life, you cannot deny the impact it has had on popular culture.
I'll have the Big Mac, please.
Great joy.
For instance, if we were to say the words, 2 all beef patties, how many of you are able to sing the rest of the song?
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun. 2 whole... Well, what was that word again?
For that earworm we just put in your head, you can thank Keith Reinhardt, who created the Big Mac jingle in 1974. The catchy tune succeeded in making the Big Mac even more popular than it already was, which at that time was pretty popular.
2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun. 2 all beef patties.
Pretty good deal for a song composed of
Get
nothing
wrecked,
but
kid.
ingredients. Your move, Kentucky Fried Chicken. On second thought, scratch that. Weird History food viewers will remember how bad an idea it is to cross the kernel. The influence of the American Big Mac has also inspired knockoff versions and variations all around the world. In places like India, where they don't eat beef, you can get yourself
Kit,
the
Kit, it's
Maharaja
almost
Mac,
Obama time.
which is made
Oh
with
God.
beef. Or head down to Australia, where you can purchase the Son of Mac, which is a Big Mac but without the middle bun in the center. If cheese isn't your thing, stop by Israel, where a kosher version without the cheese can be found.
Here you go, Mr. President.
God bless Israel.
You can even get a bigger Big Mac up in Alaska called
God
the
bless
McKinley,
Israel.
which features
I
quarter
loved
pounder
when he said
patties
it's
instead of the
Obama
normal Mac
time,
patties.
and then Obama.
By the
all
time
over
the Big
those
Mac
people.
turned 40, McDonald's was reportedly selling around
What
17
the
of them
fuck?
every second. Today, the Big Mac is more popular than ever.
You can't say as
Segment
well as
sales
some
only to
spices and call it
McDonald's
salt.
fries,
Which
which are
fucking
the savory
spices?
mortar
Yeah.
to the
How did they
delicious
get
protein
Obama
in your
in that?
arteries. Billions have been sold across the world ever since one man in Pennsylvania decided he wanted
If it
more
weren't for
out
the
of his
fact that he
burgers
was saying
and
God
demanded
bless
better.
Israel, I would make that a
Worldwide
redeem.
sales of the Big Mac are so important that in 1986, The Economist created something called the Big Mac Index. The availability of the Big Mac in so many countries makes for an excellent benchmark of current exchange rates across the world. And not to throw double-decker stones, but we're not seeing the Whopper Index anywhere.
I kinda
If
like
all this
this.
Big Mac lore is particularly interesting to you, may we suggest visiting the Big Mac Museum in North Huntingdon, Pennsylvania.
Kid.
And yes, that is absolutely
Huh?
a real
Take
thing.
me to the Big Mac
There
Museum.
you can view wall-mounted
Oh my
timelines of the Big Mac's
fucking
career
God.
over the decades,
Pennsylvania.
as well as toys and
Oh
memorabilia
my
dating almost as far back as the
God.
Big Mac itself.
Hold on, let me fucking look up where it even
There
is.
are signs that the
Huntington,
Big
they
Mac
said?
spot at the top of the
I know,
mountain
I don't know where
may
that
be
is. I don't know the
What do you
location of every
mean?
tiny ass
Only one
fucking
in
town in the
millennials
state. Give me a
has ever
What do
second.
you
even tried the
mean? You're
sandwich,
supposed to know
which can
every
be
inch
blamed
of
on a lot of things, not the least
Pennsylvania.
of which
It's
is
like
that
your
the Big Mac
job.
costs a fair bit more
Oh
than
my
most
God.
nowadays. Still, when you want the
Fucking
maximum possible amount of hamburger in the smallest possible package, the Big Mac is second to none.
Okay, yeah, it is a
So what do
4-hour
you think?
drive.
Is
Let's
the Big Mac the
go.
best burger of all time?
Fuck
Let us
you.
know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other weird history food videos.
I mean, you know, I say that, but I would be down to drive for 4 hours with you. Just probably for more than the Big Mac Museum.
I mean, we talked about that before. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
so
we
if-
definitely have, yeah.
If I make you drive for 4 hours to get anywhere, we're not going to like McDonald's and then like leaving and going, all right, time to go back.
And entirely unknown to
Yeah.
those outside
That
of
sounds
it.
horrible.
When
I
asked
would
about
never.
It, people will mention the unwitting consumption of hazardous chemicals.
I would
and a
like
mass
outright
public panic,
refuse to do
but the
something like
details
that
will be
unless we
muddled
at least
or
like swap to
contradictory.
us driving
Most
this way.
sources with
Oh, yeah, I
precise
mean, that's
information
just
are
good
left
etiquette.
untranslated, and misinformation about the event is commonly repeated through English publications. So what was the
Like that's
wine
usually
poisoning?
what I do with friends is like we'll pick someone, drive there, and then someone to go back.
Yeah.
With the obvious exception of like whoever's car it is will be driving back at least some of the way because they have to get home.
To domestic and Italian wines.
That just
Found in
makes
grocery
sense.
stores, these wines were made specifically to meet the high demand for sweetness from German consumers, and the sweetest wines could consistently be priced the highest. The chief difference of Austrian wine, however, was that much of the industry had been arranged for mass production. First, vineyards would leave the grapes on the vine as long as possible, allowing them to ripen. If left for long enough, the producers would gain the legal right to label their bottles as the sweet and lucrative Fée de Katz vine. These ripened
shit,
grapes
it's already
would be
midnight?
harvested in late summer and shipped to manufacturers
fuck?
who would ferment the grapes in large vats.
Oh, I gotta
The
finish
resulting
this one and
wine
then
would
wrap
be
up.
transported
Fuck,
to bottlers
dude.
in bulk.
I thought I was gonna
The
have more
relatively
time.
high quality achieved by this process.
Yeah, because we did
allowed
start a little
Austrian
late.
winemakers
I'm so
to
tempted to
undercut
come
the
back in
prices
like
of
an hour
older,
after I watch
smaller-scale
Mandalorian.
wineries who
I don't know
were
if
more
anyone's gonna show
established,
up for that, but
and
I'm
mass
so tempted.
production made for a more
I might.
reliable
Gotta go to
source of
sleep.
wine.
Have good
But
sleep,
after
Calvin. Yeah,
years,
I'm
this
gonna watch
production grew
Mandalorian,
from
so we're gonna
prosperous
end in a
to
second.
suspicious. During the
Yeah, I probably will
1970s,
too, honestly.
the amount of Predicats vine being produced
But yeah, I don't know if like
surpassed
everyone would be
feasibility,
asleep.
and Austrian investigatory bodies
Yeah,
began
I
seeking
kinda-
warrants
I
to
had
test
something I
this
wanted to draw
mass-produced
tonight, but
wine
I
in
won't
order
get
to
around
discover
to it if I
precisely
fucking-
how these seemingly
so
impossible
we'll see. Let me
numbers
finish
were
this,
being
though.
achieved.
Yeah.
Without evidence and
I don't know, if you want, we could
particular
even like do
wineries, however,
fucking
the courts refused to
weekend
grant such
stream.
warrants. Even if they could investigate, the Austrian authorities were understaffed and overworked, allowing the wine industry in the country to operate largely unchecked and unsupervised. In one instance, a wine merchant arrived at a cooperative with his tanker to collect wine, but as they were pumping wine into the truck, the man noticed that they had attached a second hose. Investigating further, he found that they were pumping water into the truck as well. Enraged, the man refused to take the wine and approached the Austrian wine control, who told him that they would be unable to begin inquiries for another 6 weeks due to the massive amount of work they already had to perform. Finding this answer unacceptable, he then approached the Ministry of Agriculture, who revealed to him that there were only 18 inspectors tasked with overseeing approximately 60,000 companies. With such a state of affairs, there was little question that adulteration of wine, especially Predicats vine, had become widespread. In 1975, the Chamber of Labor and
Pacifiers will be awake.
Employees
Oh,
in
Pacific
Salzburg,
people,
Austria,
Pacificers.
performed both
I was
chemical
like, the
tests
fuck?
and expert taste tests on 76 different bottles of Austrian wine. Of them, only 23 were properly labeled and 56 were defective. But what investigators couldn't have known was precisely how large the problem had grown or how far winemakers would go to make a profit. On December 21st, 1984, an unknown man with a German accent
Wow, that is
entered the
3
Federal
Fox
Institute
Twitter
of
accounts that
Agricultural
all
Chemistry in
posted
Vienna
circles at the
and
same
placed
time.
a bottle full of liquid on the table, declaring that inside of this bottle was the chemical being used to produce such vast quantities of wine. He then exited the building, leaving the bottle on the table. He was never identified. After a month of analysis, chemists were able to determine that the bottle contained numerous chemicals, several of them toxic. Though this tip wasn't enough to investigate any winery in particular, it meant that they knew what tests to apply if given the opportunity, and this would come less than 2 months later. In mid-February of 1985, another tip was sent from someone inside the Austrian wine industry to government officials, a tip that seemed too ridiculous and brazen to be believed. A factory owner was purchasing large amounts of a chemical, one of the chemicals from the mysterious bottle, and attempting to write it off on his taxes as
good
a
night,
business
Kelvin.
expense.
Thank you so much,
claiming
and
that
I
it
hope
was
you have
all
good
to be
sleep.
used for his small tractor. After inspecting the documents, this blatant discrepancy proved enough to obtain a warrant, and a chemical investigation team was sent. Upon their arrival, they confiscated the wine being stored in the vats and sent samples back to a laboratory. Soon, their suspicions were confirmed. The wine contained significant amounts of diethylene glycol. Diethylene glycol is typically used as a solvent or combined with other chemicals to make numerous liquids such as brake fluid and wallpaper stripper. Its effect on humans, however, is brutal. After ingestion, diethylene glycol enters the bloodstream, where it is transported throughout the body and takes destructive effect in 2 particular ways. The first, and better understood, is its interaction with the liver and the kidneys. When diethylene glycol enters the liver, it is metabolized into 2 new chemicals, 2-hydroxyethoxyacetic acid and diglycolic acid. When the latter of these encounters the tubules of the kidneys, it enters the cells and damages the mitochondria, causing necrosis, or literally, cell death. If enough of the kidney is damaged, it can no longer adequately filter toxins out of the blood, a condition called renal failure. This eventually leads to metabolic acidosis, where the blood becomes too acidic for the body to use. The second and more poorly understood effect is that
More
on the
just
nervous
something
system.
different.
Through
Thank you for the
mechanisms
Red Baron,
currently
Far.
still unknown, ingestion of diethylene
frozen
glycol
pizza.
causes
Red
damage
Baron
to the
frozen
myelin
pizza.
sheath and axon of nerve cells, making them unable to properly carry electrical signals. Unchecked, this can lead to permanent paralysis, either partial or complete. Studies of people affected by diethylene glycol showed that nearly every single neuron was damaged by the poisoning to some degree. Though the amounts found in this wine were small enough not to cause acute poisoning, long-term consumption can cause the same effects and lead to organ and brain damage. While adding diethylene glycol to wine was unorthodox, the reasons for doing so were easy to glean. Wines with added sugar were worth less, and tests were often performed to make certain that no additives were being used without proper labeling. This meant that, to sweeten wine without reducing profits, another chemical would have to be used, one that was more difficult to detect. Diethylene glycol was poorly understood at the time, the tests for it were rudimentary, and most importantly, it was sweet. In small enough amounts, the effects of poisoning could be minimized while adding a noticeable amount of sweetness, body, and aroma, and if someone did suffer the effects of poisoning, it would be difficult to trace the source back to the wine.
That's so
By this
fucked.
method, wine sellers could enhance lower quality wine to mimic Predekatswein. At the time, the chemical investigation team assumed that this was an isolated incident, limited to cheap, mass-produced wine, but as the weeks progressed, this optimistic assumption proved drastically incorrect. With this wine confiscated, investigators began searching for more wineries who may have performed similar adulteration, but as they did, a parallel incident began occurring across Austria. The bacterial colonies used in sewage treatment facilities were suddenly and inexplicably collapsing, and untreated sewage was flowing into the rivers and devastating their ecosystems. It didn't take long to discover what was causing this. Despite attempts at secrecy, knowledge of the investigations had leaked to the wine industry, and now, other wineries who had been sweetening their wine were desperately dumping it into the sewer to hide it from the investigators.
Jesus.
However, the diethylene glycol in the wine had the effect of killing the bacterial colonies in the water treatment plants, and thereby unintentionally broadcasting their actions. Investigators were forced to scramble in order to find these wineries before they could destroy their tainted wine. After raiding a few cellars from winemakers in Burgenland, they quickly discovered that it wasn't only the cheap wine that had been affected. Both cheap and expensive winemakers were adding diethylene glycol to their wines in order to sweeten it. By this point, it was apparent that secrecy was no longer possible. On April 23, 1985, the Austrian government announced the discovery to the public and issued a health warning against Predekatswein. 2 days later, approximately 2 million liters of wine were confiscated to await laboratory testing. However, it would take some time for the laboratories, with their limited resources, to finish their tests. Over the following months, these tests would reveal just how deeply this poisoning had rooted itself in the Austrian wine industry, and how it had been exacerbated by ignorant bodies secretly performing their own actions independently.
Okay, I think that's all I can do for now. So, all right, we got a couple of emotes done, but I still, I'm so tempted to come back later. We'll see. I gotta go. I got friends waiting on me. Just give me 1 second. I got people waiting on me. So I gotta go for a bit. Because we're gonna watch the last, I think it's the last episode of Mandalorian.
So. If you were gonna come back, I will probably wait until after we're done then.
Yeah. But I'll I'll announce it on the Discord and on Twitter if I decide to come back and do like some late night art. But for now, I will find somebody to raid over to. So let's see. Let's see if there's anybody hanging out right now. Oops, let me get rid of the Firefox so you don't got the fucking... There we go. And, boop, BGM. Let's see who's on right now. I'm all sniffly. Let's see. Ooh, I might raid Nightmare, cause he's doing a bunch of fucking... He's been playing a bunch of Stalker Anomaly lately. So we might raid over to him. Am I too late to catch the stream? /S. You fucking shut the hell up, dude. You know exactly where I'm going. That's my friend. That's my friend I am watching Mando with. Here, we're either gonna raid Nightmare or Yozo. Do you guys want to watch? Here, I'm gonna do a poll if anyone gives a shit. If nobody gives a oh, wait, why did that not work? Poll. There we go. Alright, there we go. I'm just gonna do a 1-minute poll. Alright, poll's up. If anyone gives a shit, who we raiding? We're either raiding Yozo, Raccoon Lady, she's playing Dredge right now, or we're gonna raid Nightmare Nexus, and he is playing Stalker right now. So up to you guys. Vote now. You only got like 45 seconds to do it. Go, 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 go. Panic. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. Not actually like influencing the... Sorry, wait, shit. Bad dream, bad dream, bad dream, bad dream. Panic, 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 panic.
Metroid Fusion.
Alright, we got 2 votes for Yozo with Dredge. I'm also okay with raiding Yozo, because she raided us last time. So I'd be happy to return the favor over to her and send you guys over. And if you do go over to Yozo, make sure you use the ! quote command. Get lots of Yozo quotes. Alright, the people have spoken. We are raiding over to Yozo. Alright, what should our raid message be, guys? I'm so tempted to do like...
Big Mac Obama raid.
I'm so tempted to do the fucking, rigged. What do you mean? Only 2 people voted. Let's see. And yeah, she doesn't look like she's about to end. Fuck. Spicy wine raid? That's good. Yeah, either that or like Chester's dick cheese raid. We're not using that one. We're not using that one. Alright, yeah, spicy wine raid. Alright, that works. Alright.
That works. I was so hoping for Big Mac Obama raid.
Chester's dick Cheetos. Oh god. Or we could just like Chester's cheese. Chester's cheese raid. What do you guys think? Chester's cheese or spicy wine? They're both like the Chester's cheese is so fucking hard. All right, we're gonna do that one.
God.
All right. Dink donk for people with the sub. Chester's spicy cheese. If you
ever tasted it?
And if you don't have a sub, would you just here? How about this? Is there not a cheetah emote? Lame. Oh well, I tried. All right, then we'll just do that. All right, there's your raid message. We're going over to Yozo. Yozo is playing some Dredge. Give her lots of love. She is a spicy raccoon lady. And make sure you do ! Quote when you get there, because I wrote like half of Yozo's quotes down. All right, raid Yozora Aoi. All right, wait, oh shit, I totally misspelled that. All right, Yozora Aoi. I can totally spell. There we go. And as always, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for taking care of Kit.
We'll kill you with a rock, each of you individually. I will open your windows in the middle of the night, and there is nothing you can do to stop me.
Thank you so much for all the well wishes, and for both me and Kit. And I will see you guys later. I am thinking about possibly coming back and doing a late night stream tonight. No promises. I don't know. If I'm feeling up to it after I watch the stuff I'm gonna watch, then maybe I will. But yeah, I'll make an announcement on Discord and Twitter if I do that, and we can just chill for a bit. Maybe finish the spicy wine documentary. But yeah, see you guys later. Everybody take care of yourselves. Get some rest. Eat some good food. Have a good day at work. Have good night.
Good night. You are never safe.
AT said, Kit, do you promise? Okay,
Yes.
We gotta go. I gotta send you guys out of here. So, alright. Bye. Bye. Say hi to Yozo. Bye.